McKinney.com.
It is touchdown time in Texas for the first ever time for McKinney Boyd against A.J. Jones in a 1-yard touchdown run. Gibson, goodbye. It is touchdown time in Texas for Eddie Morgan.
Now, McKinney ISD football is on the air.
Three-step drop for Herbal, throwing it down the field to the right side, trying to find Mooney, and it's caught. Touchdown McKinney North.
McKinney ISD football is brought to you by American Bank, Troy Aikman Ford, McKinneysports.net.
Nate Hill running left side, trying to find the corner. He is into the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas for McKinney Boyd.
El Dorado Motors, Bill Joplins, Pat Loeb Toyota.
You wanted to know about Calvin Maxwell? We'll get some of that.
The Zone, Greenville Chrysler.
Looking for Fuller wide open at the 10-5 to Jeff Fuller. It is touchdown time in Texas. What a game! Woo!
Now, let's start the pregame show. Here's Monty Walker and Brandon Helms.
1966, the McKinney Lions went undefeated in regular season and marched their way to the state title game. 20 years later, the 1986 McKinney Lions also marched to the state title game. 20 years later, here we are. The crosstown rival McKinney North Bulldogs are undefeated at 8-0. But before we can talk about a state title game, we must talk about the district title game. Tonight it's the Frisco Raccoons who march into Ron Post Stadium to face the McKinney North Bulldogs, who have won 14 consecutive games here at Ron Post Stadium. Brandon Helms, thank you for joining us. John Leidy down on the sidelines, and Jared Foyd up here in the booth. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for this district championship game tonight in McKinney.
That's exactly what it is. It's a undefeated McKinney North in district play against an undefeated in district play Frisco Raccoon team. The winner will be the district champs. It doesn't matter what happens next week because all the tiebreakers lie in favor of McKinney North should they win, and Frisco still has their matchup with Lake Dallas next week, so that could play a factor should Frisco wins, because then you have the possibilities of three-way ties and all that. But I like my chances with McKinney North. They're a very good team. They're multidimensional both on offense and defense. Frisco, not so much.
That's what I was about to bring up. These two teams are about as opposite as you can get. You have Frisco, who will run the football with Brogan Funderburg, and that's about all they do. They run the football, and they run the football, and they run the football. Brogan Funderburg is the leading rusher in the area with 1,000. He has 1,538 yards and 15 touchdowns on 240 carries. You flip it over to the other side for McKinney North. They are as balanced as they can be on offense. They have 1,943 yards rushing, 1,983 yards passing. They do it on both sides, running and throwing the ball, so they're multidimensional, as you mentioned earlier.
Well, to give a little scouting report on just how unbalanced Frisco is on the offensive end, their passing game not so great. Colin Graney for the year, 59 completions on 111 attempts, and if that seems lopsided to you, consider this. David Douglas has 57 receptions all on his own. Obviously, McKinney North a lot better in the passing game, and then if you want to go down to Brogan Funderburg, he's got 1,500 yards rushing, and the offense for Frisco has near that much. I mean, it's pretty close to one-dimensional, and with as good as McKinney's defense plays, North's defense plays, you got to be a lot better than a one-dimensional team because they're a team full of athletes, and they're going to be able to make plays when you just have one weapon.
Well, in McKinney North, you talk about how good they are, and they are a really good football team. Matter of fact, 47.6 points per game for offense and only giving up 9.9. So they're basically beating the opponent 48-10 is their average score every game, and that is just tremendous. And you talk about offense, 490 yards per game on offense, and they only give up 227. And that's probably, the most impressive stat is the fact that McKinney North's defense has been as good as it is, because in years past that has not been the case. They opened up this program giving up 33 points a game their first year, 34 the next year, 34 again, 26 in 05 last year, which was supposed to be a much improved defense, and it was. 26 points a game per last year. Of course, you have that 59-point Highland Park game thrown in there that brings that average up a little bit. However, 9.9 points per game is unbelievable in 4A.
Well, and there's that old cliche, and it's absolutely true. Defense wins championships. I'm a big believer that if you have a solid defense and you can control the clock, which this offense can do despite being a passing offense, or at least they have the ability to pass. I don't know what you classify them. As you said, they're quite balanced. But it all starts with the defense in my mind. You know, you look back at what McKinney's done the last couple of years minus this year. They haven't been real flashy on offense. They had that great defense that really sustained the team, and they had success because of it. And all of a sudden, that success is now on North side, and they're undefeated.
You take a look at McKinney North's offense, and they have record breakers all over the place. David Douglas last week set the single-season receiving yardage mark, now has 952 yards receiving on the season. You have the all-time career passer in Eric Herbal at quarterback, and Herbal has 4,326 yards passing for his career, 45 touchdowns, but the most impressive part of that, for a career, 64% completions of his completions, and that is just astounding, and that includes some of his sophomore year thrown in there as well. You look at the running back, Chase Barrett, who is your all-time leading rusher at McKinney North, and you say, oh, well, there's only been 2 or 3. Yeah, but one of them was Shannon Woods, and he's at Texas Tech. But Chase Barrett, for his career, 2,744 yards, 44 touchdowns, and a 6.7-yard average. Very impressive. Well, are we done? No. Blake Mooney on the other side of the football, the wideout over there. 14 touchdowns this season. That ties a record with Colin Beto for the most touchdowns in a career. He's done it in 8 games.
Generally, when you're speaking, and this goes all the way back to teams with tradition and teams that are good and teams that have a long history, but when you get a team this talented together, some records are going to fall. It happens on every level, and it just so happens that because this team is so young, so many records are falling.
Well, let's check down on the sidelines with John Leidy, who's down there to give us an update on weather and everything else. John?
Well, guys, that's a great analysis up there. I watched Frisco actually do their pregame warm-ups here on offense, and it seemed like they were actually focusing more on their passing game. 8 out of their 10 plays were towards the passing part. I would expect McKinney North's defense to probably try to stick an extra man in the box tonight, starting off at the beginning of the game, just because Frisco is a one-sided running team. Tonight's weather is about mid-40s. It's cool. It's probably our coolest night of the year. There's a slight breeze, but I don't see it playing a factor into tonight's game. There also is a full moon in the eastern sky, and you know what they say, anything can happen underneath the full moon.
Yeah, you're right, John. Anything can happen. We expect to happen tonight. What we expect to happen, obviously, is the McKinney North Bulldogs to take care of business and prove that they are the number 2 ranked team in the area behind Highland Park. And I guess they moved back. They're number 10 in the AP polls this week across the state. But that brings up the Highland Park matchup. That ought to be a dandy in a couple weeks.
Well, we've had that on the calendar for a while now, and I said it before the playoffs, probably long before anybody should have been talking about the playoffs. I said bring on Highland Park. I can't wait. There's the revenge factor. Win or lose, we'll know just how much better this team has gotten and just what Coach Pratt has been able to do. I expect a little bit closer game than what you saw last year.
Well, stick around. We have the district championship game tonight. McKinney North and Frisco coming up next on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. Well, we mentioned earlier in our open that McKinney North has won 14 straight games here at Ron Post Stadium. Are they getting close to the record? Is that some sort of a record? Well,
yes.
No, they are not. The McKinney Lions actually won 29 straight games here at Ron Post Stadium to open this stadium. Actually, it was called MHS Stadium back then, from September 14th, 1962 until October 27th, 1967. 29 straight home wins for the McKinney Lions back in the 60s. And I tell you what, that's if you include old Newsom Stadium into that, they won their last 5 games there. So overall, a home winning streak of 34 straight, and that was by the McKinney Lions from September 15th, 1961 until October 27th, 1967. My goodness, you got 6-7 straight years there where you didn't lose a game at home?
Well, they're close to that tonight. If they can win that one, they're on the road next week, so if they can win that, they'll have 2 years undefeated at home play. Just 5 more to go.
Well, the captain's making their way out onto the field. John Leidy is right there with them for the coin toss. Let's listen in on that.
Details of one another.
Davis.
All right, McKinney North, you guys in the blue jerseys, I'm going to call you blue all night long, okay? Frisco, you in the white jerseys, I'm going to call you guys white all night long. If I have a penalty and I call for a blue captain or a white captain, I want you guys to come to me as quick as you can. I'll give you your option. Look to see what your coach wants to do. Then I want you to calmly turn around and tell me what your choice is, okay? If you get a teammate that gets a little bit out of hand, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to ask you to take care of him for me, okay? All right, white is going to be your toss. You're calling the toss. I've got tails and I've got heads. What would you like to call?
Tails.
Tails. You said tails? And it is heads. Blue, you have won the toss. You have your option. You can kick, you can receive, you can defend a goal, or you can defer your option until the second half.
We'll defer.
All right. Blue has won the toss.
That is Eric Herbal, who decided to defer to the second half after winning the toss there. The captains for McKinney North, Brett Davis, Ryan Selby-Carney, who is in street clothes and will not play tonight, Kenny Alexander, and Eric Herbal, as you heard there for a moment. And the Frisco Raccoons captains, Brock Chalker, Colin Graney, Josh Wakefield, the linebacker, and Evan Coachman, the H-back.
You know what McKinney North ought to do just to save the official's breath, because he goes along speed after they, okay, you can do this, or defer. They should go in, if we win, we're going to defer, so you don't have to say that long 2 sentences there. Because that's what they do. They love deferring. They love getting the option for the second half, which is basically taking the kickoff in the second half, because a lot of things can happen in the first half, but generally what defines a ball game is what happens in the second half. It's the half of record, if you will, and that's why they like taking control of it. They got an offense that can, from any place on the field at any time in the ball game, score points, and so what they like to do is just set the tone for the second half by getting the ball first.
If you love high school football names, you'll hear a great one tonight all night long. Brogan Funderburg, who will be the tailback for the Frisco Raccoons, comes in tonight, 240 carries, 1,538 yards, leads the area in rushing, 15 touchdowns on the season. They will run Funderburg right, Funderburg left, Funderburg up the middle, and they'll run him at you all night long. And they'll actually tell you they're going to run him. And here come the McKinney North Bulldogs. The North Bulldogs come out in their navy pants, navy tops, white numerals with a white stripe right over the shoulder pads. Their white numbers are outlined in orange. They have a white stripe down their pants outlined in orange. They have the orange helmets, which look like the Cleveland Browns, but replace the brown stripe down the middle with the navy blue from McKinney North. Frisco, however, comes out in their royal blue pants, their white road jerseys, road tops, blue numerals outlined in gold. We're just about ready for the national anthem. We'll take a quick time out. You're listening to McKinney ISD Football on 97.5 KLAK.
McKinney North Choir to be performing in occupancy.
Football time in Texas. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. McKinney North Bulldogs, number 2 in the area, against the Frisco Raccoons, who are also undefeated in district. This is for the district championship, Brandon.
Well, no question about it. One thing that I don't like, though, Monty, is right now it doesn't matter who wins districts. For the most part, your playoff, I don't want to say your matchups are set, but your seeding definitely is. McKinney North is going to be the big school, so they're off to play Highland Park, and it's going to be Frisco and Lake Dallas in the Division II level. So, it's great to be district championships, but in the big scope of things, it doesn't really matter. Don't tell that to McKinney North and Coach Pratt, of course. Right now, this game is all that matters, and for good reason. This is there's only so many people out there and so many high school football players who can say they've been district champions. So it does mean something. But in terms of playoff seedings, playoff pairings, things like that, unfortunately, the way the playoffs are set up now, it doesn't mean a whole lot.
Stephen Meyer about to set the ball on the tee. McKinney North will be moving right to left. That being north to south in this field. Conversely, Frisco will be moving left to right. North will fake the onside and spread out now. Back deep to receive this kick will be Michael Ray Mitchell, and along with Denzel Brown. And the kick is up. It's in the air. Michael Ray Mitchell is going to take it at the 7-yard line. Comes up the hash. Now goes far side. He's at the 20, 25. Breaks the tackle. The ball is on the turf. And I believe Mitchell got back on it, shy of the 30-yard line at the 29. The ball was in the air. And now McKinney North comes up with it. Chris Williams comes up with the football at the 29-yard line, and McKinney North in business early. 11:51 left to go in the first quarter, and look out.
Well, I was all about to get ready to say Frisco got the benefit of a lucky bounce. The fumble went straight up into the air, and when it hit the ground, it didn't go anywhere else. But apparently, again, it's not who comes up with it initially, but the pile can change hands, and so it's just a matter of who gets on it and covers it first. And right now, it was McKinney North. Again, it goes back. This defense, and now by proxy their special teams, it's just too good.
So the highly touted McKinney North Bulldog offense comes out on the field. Now it will be the Dog offense that will introduce first, and the Raccoon defense coming up next after this play. Here is the handoff to Chase Barrett up to the 20 and down at the 18-yard line. Here's your McKinney North starting offense.
Left tackle, Brian Selby-Carney, left guard, Taylor Douth at center, Colton Duncan, right guard, Houston Beasley, right tackle, Jeff Olson, tight end, Alex Parker, wide receiver, David Douglas, wide receiver, Blake Mooney, wide receiver, Chase Barrett, running back, Eric Kerbel, quarterback.
First down after that carry by Chase Barrett. The ball will be resting at the 18-yard line, 18 yards away from pay dirt. All ready for McKinney North. Herbal, shotgun formation. Barrett stands to the right, and behind him he's going to hand off once again. Barrett running left tackle, a little bit of a seam. Crosses the 15, inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. A gain of 4 on first down. And here is your Frisco Raccoons starting defense.
Shelby Fair, defensive end. Brock Chalker, tackle. Roberto Martinez, defensive nose. Chris Warnick, nickelback. Josh Wakefield, middle linebacker. Adrian Hedger, middle linebacker. Jason Medford, Sam linebacker. Michael Midford, cornerback. Corbin Adams, free safety. Curtis Zansky, safety.
Second down and 6 for McKinney North. Moving right to left towards that south end zone. Herbal, shotgun, gets it, handoff. Barrett up the middle, bang, first down to the 9-yard line. I may have called that a little premature. It may be short of the first down.
Yeah, they've got to get to the 8 for a first down, so it's going to be 3rd and 1.
The ball at the 9-yard line. 3rd down and 1. It's been all Chase Barrett so far.
I was just about to say 3 carries, 20 yards, 1 first down, and they're knocking on the door for another inside the 20.
4th play of the drive for the McKinney North Bulldogs early on. 10:21 left to go first quarter, no score. Frisco fumbled the initial kickoff, and McKinney North recovered, and there's going to be a flag on the play. The whistles will blow, and I believe it will be a delay of game against McKinney North.
Well, they got the timeout just before the clock went down, so they avoided the 5-yard penalty.
So a timeout for McKinney North. We'll keep it right here. To recap, if you're just now joining us a little bit late, McKinney North won the toss, and they have deferred for the second half. Therefore, Frisco got the ball on the kickoff. Michael Ray Mitchell took it at the 7-yard line, came up the near seam, crossed over to the far hash, and was hit and stripped, fumbled the football. McKinney North jumped on it at the 29-yard line and took over possession there. Here they are, 4 plays later at the 9-yard line. They're about to convert here. Hopefully, if you're a Bulldog fan, it's 3rd and 1 with 10:13 left to go in the first quarter.
Well, going back to that special teams play, Chris Williams may have recovered it, and that's who's going to get the credit. But you give the forced fumble credit to David Robinson. He's the one who stripped it down on the punt coverage. I don't know if he was doing it intentionally or not, but whatever it was, worked. Here we are, 3rd and 1 with 10 minutes left.
Herbal in shotgun. Barrett stands behind him and to the right. Douglas to the near side, Mooney to the right. Man goes in motion. That is Aaron Matthews, the tight end. Handoff Barrett, left tackle, met, and surges his way forward for a first down at the 7-yard line.
No, right now we haven't seen a whole lot of Herbal. I don't know if you're going to, because the way Chase Barrett's running, they're getting just what needed. Only 2 yards on that play, but he's still up to 22 for the game. And when you consider that 25 is what you need per quarter to get 100 yards rushing for a game, which is the milestone you want to hit. I mean, he's almost a quarter of the way there, and we're just with 2 minutes gone in the first.
Aaron Fuller will move in the slot. Blake Mooney splits out wide right. David Douglas near side. Herbal, shotgun. Olsen in at the tight end position. Will be playing both ways due to the injury to Ryan Selby-Carney. Herbal behind Barrett. Shotgun, Herbal looking right side. Throws a fade route in the end zone. Fuller is out of the end zone. It's incomplete. He was in the very far back corner, had to go up for it, and I believe it was thrown just a little bit too far.
In this situation, you got to look out for Blake Mooney first and foremost, the guy who will catch more touchdowns than anyone. This is his forte. Fuller had a break in the end zone. He got behind his man, but just ran out of real estate, and Eric just overthrew him. If he could have flattened it out a bit, it would have been a lot better pass.
2nd down and 8 for McKinney North. Herbal, shotgun, handoff Barrett. Barrett running right tackle, trying to find that far corner. Out to the 2-yard line. He's going to be down. And that will bring up a 3rd down and goal from the 2-yard line. So a crucial play here early for McKinney North. They want to slam the door open and get this football game off to a big start like they do most games. They get up early on most people, and they want to do that obviously right here, and a good chance to do it on 3rd and goal from the 1, we'll say.
On that last play, it was a pitch out toward the right side, and it looked like he had it, but Denzel Brown came in from his cornerback position to make a tackle. I thought Barrett had it.
1st and goal from the 1. Barrett up the middle. No indication, and I don't think he got in. He'll be down at the 1-yard line again. So 4th down, what do you do here? And remember, your deep snapper, Ryan Selby-Carney, not playing tonight. He's in street clothes. You have a new snapper in Houston Beasley. And it looks like McKinney North is going to go for it on 4th and goal from the 1.
I like the call. This is about as big a game as they've had all year.
8:35 left to go in the first quarter clock. 4th and goal from the 1. Herbal, shotgun, moves Barrett over to the left side. He's going to hand off to him. Right tackle, bang, touchdown. It is touchdown time in Texas for Chase Barrett and the McKinney North Bulldogs, and they strike first blood here tonight. 6-0 over the Frisco Raccoons.
The offensive line could not have blocked that better. It was a run simply between the right guard and tackle, and Barrett got to the end zone, needed a yard. He got there untouched. Beautifully blocked. You have a lot of credit to that side. Colton Duncan and Houston Beasley out on that right side allowed Chase Barrett to just stroll into the end zone. He could have done the crab walk and still scored.
Stephen Meyer's extra point is going to be, are they saying no good? They're saying he pushed it to a little bit to the right. No good. So 6-0. McKinney North Bulldogs in the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, John Leidy, and Jared Foyt. It is 6-0 McKinney North after the 7-play, 29-yard drive, which took 3 minutes and 28 seconds off the clock. The missed extra point after the 1-yard touchdown by Chase Barrett makes our new score 6-0 with 8:23 left to go in the first. Here's the kickoff. It's a high kick, going to be taken at the 18-yard line by an up man. And Denzel Brown has it, and he's dropped shy of the 25-yard line, and now really stopped by Kyle Dancy, who drives him backwards. And Frisco really, they never had a chance on that return.
Yeah, give credit to Brown for not going down, but he wasn't getting out of those tackles. Nice job again by the special teams. That's what makes this team dangerous. I brought up last week about how you need to win 2 of the 3, offense, defense, and special teams. But the problem that makes beating North so difficult is they're good at all 3.
Absolutely. Ball will be resting at the 20-yard line. Moving left to right, Frisco. 1 man in the backfield. We'll get to see Brogan Funderburg here. We'll give you the starting lineup right after this play for Frisco. Double tight set for Frisco. Colin Graney, the quarterback, is a fumbled snap, I believe, and they're going to get back on it. Frisco gets back on it. and somehow gaining a couple of yards up to the 23-yard line. So a 3-yard gain, and I didn't see that clearly. It might have been a quarterback snap.
No, he fumbled the snap. He didn't get any yardage on the play. He fell on it right about the original line of scrimmage, so it's officially no gain.
Well, the ball's at the 23-yard line. I take that back. That's where the original line of scrimmage was. Little movement early, but Graney's going to roll out, and he's going to hand off to Brogan Funderburg, who will make his way out to the 27-yard line, so a little gain there of about 4 yards. And now we'll give you the Frisco Raccoons starting offense.
Now offensive tackle. Chris Mills, offensive guard. Stevie Couchelle. Parker guard. Rob Chalker, offensive tackle. Josh Wakefield, tackle. Evan Coachman, H-back. Michael Mitchell, receiver. Brogan Funderburg, Colin Graney, quarterback.
3rd down and 6 for Frisco, moving left to right with 7:05 left to go in the first quarter. Double tight set, Brogan Funderburg in the backfield. Little movement early, and flags are going to fly, and that may be delay of game as Brandon points that out. So back up Frisco here. So instead of 3rd down and 6, it'll be 3rd down and 12.
Now, again, this is why it's so tough to be a one-dimensional team against this defense, because you're going to get put in long yardage all the time. Probably at least once a series, and that's at best. And when you're stuck with a 3rd and 11 and all you can do is run the ball, and they know that, it makes it a lot more difficult than if you had another option.
Graney, quarterback, drops back to pass. Left-handed passer, throws it down for the fade route. He overshoots his receiver, trying to hit Denzel Brown, but he overshoots him. Let's give you the McKinney North Bulldogs starting defense.
K.A., D.M., Ruben Gonzalez. Brett Davis, nose guard. Ryan Selby Carney, right tackle. Sean D.M. Colton Floyd, inside linebacker. Mike Smith, inside linebacker. Mike Scott, cornerback. Kenny McGowan, quarterback. Brandon Dunn, safety. Marquise Moore-Timms, safety.
And the punt team is on for Frisco. They're going to boom this one away. Evan Coachman, the punter, is going to be taken by Brandon Dunn at the 44-yard line. Makes a nifty cut up the far sideline, but he's going to be brought down after a minimal gain at the 46-yard line, still in McKinney North territory. 6:35 left to go in the first quarter. McKinney North up 6-0. There's a flag on the play, Jared Foyt points out.
Likely to be a block in the back. That's usually what happens when you see one of the cover guys just go flying forward. I'll wait for the official call, but right now they're talking about it, which generally isn't a good thing, because that means usually if it's clear-cut penalty, they just talk about it.
Again,
still haven't seen anything.
We haven't seen an indication. Let's check down with John Leidy and see if John's seen anything. John?
Guys, they did call an illegal block in the back. I don't know if they're discussing whether it's going to be a 5 or 15-yard penalty, because it was on the far sideline, right along the sideline. It may have been out of bounds. Also, the McKinney North offense has been observing what the defense of Frisco is running. They're running 2-1 techniques, which is lined up in between the guard and the center on both sides. They're looking to take the guard and the two guards in the center and blocking those two defensive tackles. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks, John.
It's actually going to be a 10-yard penalty. I think what they were trying to figure out was where the initial spot was, because one referee had put it down at the 44, when instead it should have been at 46, when it should have been at the 47. So I think that's what the conference was about.
Moving right to left, Herbal wants to throw. Mooney caught. And Mooney will break away for a moment and go out of bounds just past the first down marker. And will they say he made it? No, they'll say he stepped out just shy of a 9-yard gain for Mooney up to the 46-yard line.
And that's likely why the Frisco defense allowed Mooney to get away, because he stepped out of bounds, and legally, the play's dead.
So 2nd down and 1. Will McKinney North go for the bomb right here? Now they're going to hand off. Barrett up the middle, has a little seam, crosses the 50-yard line to the 49 inside Frisco territory. Curtis Kazansky makes the stop for Frisco. 6:25 left to go first quarter, 6-0. McKinney North on top.
Third first down of the game for North. That also happens to be the third rushing first down picked up by Chase Barrett in the game.
First down for McKinney North, moving right to left. 6:20 left to go in the first quarter, 6-0. On top of Frisco, it's the district championship of 9-4A tonight here at Ron Poe Stadium. Thanks for joining us. Herbal has Barrett standing right behind him. Man comes in motion. They're going to hand off Barrett. Left tackle, big hole, up to the 45 and down right there. A 5-yard gain, maybe 6. We'll call it a 5-yard gain to the 44-yard line of Frisco.
Chase Barrett liable to get to the halfway mark for 100 yards in this game. In this quarter, he needs 11 yards. He's been all of the offense minus a 9-yard pass to Blake Mooney earlier on this drive. Right now, that's your horse, and he's showing, hey, Brogan, I can do it too.
Yep, that's what I was about to say. He's McKinney's own Brogan Funderburg, if you will. Shotgun, Herbal wants to throw. Near side, Douglas caught at the 39-yard line, trying to spin out of a tackle but can't do it. Michael Ray Mitchell, the cornerback, makes the stop at the 39, and that's going to be very close to another first down. John, you're right there. Tell us.
Guys, that is going to be a first down. They gave him forward progress on that.
All right, thanks, John. And I think you saw the sticks moving as you gave that prediction there, but we'll go ahead and give it to you and mark it on your record.
No, we're not. I'm not that lenient.
I'm too nice to you, John. First down and 10 for McKinney North. 5:08 left to go in the first quarter, up 6-0 over Frisco here in the district championship game. Herbal, two-step drop, looks right, pumps right, throws it down the field now for Mooney. Mooney is in double coverage, and he has to go up for it. And did he catch it? Did he come down with it? They're fighting for it, and it's intercepted.
Oh.
It's intercepted by Frisco. And coming up with the interception is Alphonse Coleman, the sophomore cornerback. And that's only the 4th interception this year for Eric Herbal, compared to 26 touchdowns.
Well, I thought for a minute that Mooney was able to Alvin Harper that out of his hands. And, basically the official has on top of it, whoever came down with that was going to get credit for it. And apparently Coleman was just able to rip it out. I don't know if Herbal's having a little trouble, but that's the second time his pass just hasn't been Herbal-like.
Well, here is Frisco. I guess the good news is that they're pinned back at their own 5-yard line. Here's a pass by Graney, throwing out to the middle of the field. Kenny McGowan's going to be caught for interference.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's going to be offensive, Monty. McGowan had perfect position on it, and the receiver jumped over him.
Trying to go back to the hot hand. Alphonse Coleman, who intercepted the pass, was the intended receiver for Colin Graney. There was some bumping and grinding at the 35-yard line. No indication yet from the officials, but I thought Kenny McGowan made most of the contact there.
Well, no, but he had position on it. I don't know if I agree with that.
And it is going to be against Kenny McGowan here, the cornerback for McKinney North. 5'11", 165-pound senior, has 2 interceptions on the season. But he just got beat on that play.
Well, no, it was, first of all, it was an underthrown pass by Graney, again showing that this team is either Funderburg or nothing, and that's their first down of the game. It just so happens to be it comes via the penalty, so that shows you just how one-dimensional they are. Second, it was underthrown, and I thought that McGowan was there, unless there was contact early, because that'll generally cancel it out from there.
Whistles blow before this play can get underway. And that will, that usually is against the offense, and it is a false start against Frisco. You're talking about Colin Graney and this offense of Frisco not being able to do anything but hand off to Funderburg. However, Colin Graney, the left-handed cornerback, does have 59 completions out of 111 attempts, 3 interceptions, 892 yards, and 8 touchdowns. That's not bad.
Well, yeah, we're probably jaded by Herbal a little bit, but here's the bottom line, Monty. Brogan Funderburg will beat you. Colin Graney's passing won't.
I think the offensive line.
Yeah, they get a lot of credit because Graney has good rushing totals too.
Another flag. This one will be a sideline warning against McKinney North, looks like.
Yeah, the players are up. There's basically 2 lines that the sideline has to be wary of. Obviously is the boundary marker, but about 2.5 yards beyond that is the line the players can't cross. That allows the chain crew and that allows the officials to run cleanly down there without tripping over and without staying in the field of play.
Well, they backed up both sides, so it's not just McKinney North that they were picking on. As you hear the fans booing a little bit, Frisco had to back up their players as well. Here comes Frisco. No infraction there. 1st and 15 for Frisco, moving left to right. 4:46 left to go first quarter. 6-0, McKinney North on top. Graney, the quarterback, under center, is going to fake the hand. He's under pressure by Millard Sims and sacked at the 5-yard line. Marquise Millard Sims coming on the cornerback blitz, or safety blitz rather, and Graney had nowhere to go. He saw Millard Sims coming at the last second.
Way too late to
but
be
he
able to do anything.
Yeah, he couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, again, that's what the blitz can do for you, and that's a clean 10-yard loss. No one able to pick up Sims coming out from the left side, again, coming in on the blitz. And Graney was basically wearing a big bullseye on the back of his jersey because that's all Sims could see, and that allowed a clean sack.
Graney back to pass, and under pressure once again, trapped it in the end zone. Now he's going to run for it, and he's caught at the 5-yard line. Coming up to make the stop, Rodney Nelson, the 5'9", 185-pound junior, playing linebacker in place of Mike Smith, makes the stop. He got his first start last week and had that massive body cramp, or what was near a body cramp last week. Came out of the game, didn't return, but goes and returns back to his linebacker position.
Yeah, and that was, at the time we thought, oh no, well, what dire situation happened here? But at least we can laugh at it now and say it was just a cramp that caused him to miss a whole game. You don't hear that often. But looking at the one-dimensionalness of the Frisco offense, they just completed their second. Oh, wait, this is third down. Never mind. I'll get to that point after this play.
3rd down and 25 for Frisco, left to right. Graney under center. He is going to hand off to Brogan Funderburg, who is met at the 7-yard line and dropped right there on 3rd down. It'll be 4th down and punting time for Frisco. And they'll send Evan Coachman out to do the punting chores for them.
All right, now I'll talk about what this offense, why I'm not too worried about what Frisco's going to do against this defense. They have now just completed their second series, barring whatever happens here on this punt. And total offense, -4 yards.
Coachman's punt's going to be a high spiraling kick, bounces right at the 50-yard line and takes a Frisco bounce all the way inside North territory and going to finally roll dead at the 33-yard line. So North will take over at their own 33 with 2:34 left to go in the first quarter. Up 6-0. And remember, North has only given up 11 points all year in the first quarter. They've only given up 17 all year in the second quarter. They've given up 24 in the third and 27 in the fourth. That's phenomenal. Only 79 points given up the entire year for McKinney North. But look out for the second quarter on offense. That's when they do most of their damage. 165 points of their 381 have come in the second quarter.
Well, and, they gave up 11 points in the first quarter last week. A 2-point conversion on a batch and then a field goal. Maybe it was 8. Maybe the field goal. No, they didn't score a field goal. Never mind. So that one field goal outside of last week all year.
Here's a handoff. Fruit Cole into the game up to the 35 and down at the 37-yard line. And the Robert Newhouse-esque running back gains about 4 yards there on first.
Giving Chase Barrett a little spell again. This is what happens when you have depth. You have the ability to go to your bench players and just find guys who have that ability just to give your starters a rest that keeps them fresher later on. And you got to keep in mind, he's not going to publicly say this, but he still has to think about the playoffs and how much of an advantage would it be to have a fresher Chase Barrett.
Herbal, shotgun. Fruit Cole stands right beside him. And he's going to hand off to him, running right tackle. A little bit of a hole. He bangs his way out to the 42-yard line, shy of a first down, but it'll be 3rd and short. Very short. John Leidy, we haven't talked to you in a little bit. Talk to us.
Monty, you are correct. This is going to be short.
Thanks, John.
All right, John, the ball will be at the 42-yard line. $1:32 left to go in the first. And rolling here.
I think you kind of put him on the spot there. He wasn't quite ready.
That was probably my fault. Sorry, John. Herbal, handoff. Fruit Cole behind the line of scrimmage is met, but he somehow digs his way out of a couple of tacklers, and it's going to be real close. John, I'm going to set this one up for you. This one's really close, isn't it?
I do apologize. I was trying not to interfere with the play on that. This is going to be very close, but it also is going to be short. It's going to be 4th and close 1 here. Big question what they're going to do. It looks like they're going to punt. Back up you go.
Well, it looks like, thanks, John, appreciate it. The scoreboard not quite getting things ready. Right now, this is 4th down and 30. I've been watching this series. The Fruit Cole gained 11 yards on the first play, which he only gained 5. The scoreboard operator having a little trouble. Usually, this stadium really good on the scoreboard, but something not quite right now.
Brandon Dunn will go back to punt here, stand at his own 27-yard line for McKinney North. And another flag is thrown, this time from the back judge, and that's too much time. McKinney North is going to back this one up a little bit.
I think that was done on purpose, giving Dunn a little bit more leg room. Generally, that's what happens on a punt.
Well, maybe in the NFL when you have a punter that can kick it 56, 70 yards on a pretty regular basis.
All right, Mr. Negativity.
Dunn will now punt from his own 24, a low snap, and that's what we talked about with Ryan Selby-Carney out. Dunn picks it up. He's at the 35, 40, and he's going to be close to a first down.
He got it.
No, he's going to be short. I believe he's going to be short.
No,
maybe by a yard.
He got it.
He might be short by a yard. Now, the official is signaling like a first down, but he may be just wanting the ball. They're going to have to measure for this one. John, you're right there.
Guys, I'm down here in the middle of the team, and actually all the coaches too. It is going to be very, very close, but I think he's going to get it by just the chin of the ball.
We may be careful in going down to John in the middle of a tense situation like that.
Yeah, that could be very dangerous. But
whoa,
that's a very, very, very close spot. Woo,
if we can get the bench to clear just a little bit, we can get a better vantage point.
This is going to be tight.
I don't know. I think he's going to be about a yard short on that spot, which I think might be a bad spot because he was in perfect position. I thought
we can't see the ball from our vantage point.
Yeah, we have to fight through a lot of people to try to find it. Wait and see.
John, what is it?
It's short. It's short by 2 chain links.
Wow.
Yeah, that was very close.
All of a sudden, does that delay of game factor into it? You know, I mean, obviously, it's going to be a different situation because this wasn't a design play, so who knows?
Well, you have to think about that, obviously. 27 seconds left here in the first quarter. McKinney North only up 6-0. They have dominated this football game, but it doesn't show that on the scoreboard at this point.
Well, they've only had 2 series. Well, at 3, there was that interception, too. This will be the 3rd series for Frisco. But, yeah, you wonder what it should be because they were driving up until that interception and then a botched snap. You know, that last series, just not a good series overall for North. They didn't even get a first down, which is uncharacteristic for them. That doesn't happen very often.
Ball here at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10 for Frisco. McKinney North crowd making noise. Graney under center. Brogan Funderburg stands at midfield. He fumbles the football. It's on the turf. McKinney North has to go after it, and K.A. comes up with it at the 31. Kenny Alexander comes up with the football. There's a flag on the play right at the fumble recovery position.
That's interesting.
What could that be?
Well, they're clear right now. They're signaling McKinney's football, so it's going to be a matter of what happened afterwards. You know, again, on the high school level, they could be down if he was hit afterwards. We got a dead ball, personal foul. Yeah, that's what it was. Somebody hit him when he was down because there was no one around, so they weren't going for the ball. He jumped on it, and once he has possession of it, you can't hit him. Yes, clearly McKinney, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. It's going to be a dead ball foul because McKinney jumped on it at the 30. Then Frisco came on, jumped on Kenny Alexander after he had it. Because, a lot of times in the high school and college level, they play like it's pros and the guy's still alive. But as soon as he has possession of that and his knee's down, the play is dead. So he hit him. So now on top of that, they recover the ball at the 30, mark up the 15-yard penalty. It's going to be 1st and 10, officially at the 46-yard line. That could have been a better turn of events for the Bulldogs.
Wow. Funderburg has not been the Funderburg that we know or have seen before. Is that his second fumble?
That's just his first. Graney had the other one.
Graney had the other one. That's right. 46-yard line for McKinney North at their own 46. 21 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Herb will hand off Barrett, running right tackle, trying to find the far end zone, and he's met before he can get to the line of scrimmage. A nice play by Frisco. Denzel Brown, the cornerback, makes the stop. Another flag up in the air. This one, another personal foul. And Brandon?
It's Frisco. It's going to be another late hit. Right now, Frisco's operating on pure motion. A lot of times that could be good, but you heard the crowd reaction. Just as soon as the flag was thrown, this whole sideline went crazy because they're happy. Right now, Frisco's self-destructing, and that's weird to see because we're only 11 seconds left to go until the start of the second quarter. They're only down 6-0, but for some reason they've had back-to-back plays of a personal foul.
Well, Coach Vance Gibson for Frisco is not real happy over there. He's a 53-year-old veteran high school football coach. He is 13-5 here at Frisco, 17-11 overall. He had another stop at Sherman back in 1984 where he was 4-6, but he has a lot of college experience. 89, 41-1 as an assistant at Howard Payne. His biggest influences, Tom Kimbrough and John Clark. I think him and Sean Pratt have a lot in common in that area. 2 seconds, 1 second on the first quarter clock. It is now second quarter time in Texas, and we'll be right back. McKinney North in the lead here, 6-0 over Frisco. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. 6-0, McKinney North in the lead here. Change sides now, moving left to right. Handoff, Barrett. Barrett running and wants to throw down the field, looking for Mooney, and that might. Oh, Mooney did a great job of knocking that ball down. Those old basketball days came back as Mooney went over the back of the defender and basically swatted that ball down.
Nice job by Ben Wallace playing defender there. It was a pass play, however. A trick play. Chase Barrett was having to throw long before he was ready and was basically throwing as a defense. And as a good quarterback's coach would tell you, don't throw it just to throw it away unless you make sure no one's going to catch it. Luckily, Mooney made sure it wasn't intercepted. 2nd down and 10. Herbal drops back 3 steps, looks right side, wants to throw, fires it down there for Mooney. Caught at the 30, makes a move at the 25, and down right there. First down for McKinney North. And Frisco doesn't jaw. They just get up and they go back to the pile this time. Well, they shouldn't. I'm watching a play. Aaron Fuller laid a block while the play was in motion on the defender, and that was Chris Warwick. And Warwick got up, kind of gave it a little shove, and the back judge was running up to Fuller saying, shaking his head, don't do that. Well, I'm curious because it happened during the play, unless there was something else that was said, but Fuller kind of held his arms out like, what?
Olson, the tight end. Mooney comes near side. Fuller, the slot. Douglas, left side. Here's Barrett on the handoff to the right side. Horse collared down at the 24-yard line, maybe the 23. Curtis Kazansky makes the stop for Frisco. Had his right hand behind his shoulder pads and just drug him down by the back.
Yeah, Chase Barrett's starting to wear down a little bit. He was up to 39, and now he's dropped down to 36, and after that play it'll be up to 37. But he was on a pretty horrid pace to start gaining up the yards. Right now the Frisco defense feeling him out a little bit, starting to get a feel for what's going on. You better hurry up. The North Bulldogs have 7 seconds left to get this play off.
Up 6-0. North over for Frisco Raccoons. Barrett goes in motion. They're going to hand off to him. No, Herbal in trouble behind the line. Flushes out. Throws it down the field. Has a man. Fuller wide open, and it is incomplete in the end zone. Fuller had it go off his fingertips. What a play by Herbal just to get away.
Well, he made a nice little spin move looking like Emmett Smith or Walter Payton there. I think Fuller, if he would have been able to land in bounds, would have had possession of that because I think when he hit the ground, the ball came out. He might have been bobbling it. I'm not sure. It was on the far side, so I didn't get the best look at it. But he didn't get a foot in bounds, and he wasn't pushed. That would have been the main thing.
Barrett stands to the right side and a little bit behind Herbal, who's in shotgun, drops back 3 steps, looking across the middle, now looks left side, throws it, and it is incomplete, knocked down by Michael Ray Mitchell, the cornerback from Frisco. A nice play there. He was trying to hit David Douglas and just came up empty.
You know, right now we're about a quarter and a minute and a half into this game, but this Frisco secondary is starting to impress me. We've seen this team once before earlier in the season against McKinney, and that's really not a good judge to see how good the defensive secondary is against McKinney, but they've been playing very well tonight. Right now, Herbal's only 3 of 7 passing.
41-yard field goal attempt for Stephen Meyer. Kenny McGowan, the holder. Houston Beasley, the snapper. Meyer. It's down on the tee. The kick is up, and it's plenty long enough, I believe. It went off the left upright, no good. Just like Vanderklank, this one is no good. 6-0. McKinney North still leads here with 10:29 left to go in the second quarter. A missed 41-yard field goal by Stephen Meyer, who had plenty of leg.
Well, it hit the upper half of the crossbar, but he couldn't hit that again if he tried. Not sure what happened in terms of what he saw. It was on the near hash. But whatever happened, he just pulled it a little bit to that left side. Now Frisco takes over at the 23-yard line. So 1st and 10 Raccoons. Graney under center. Hand off Funderburg, left side, trying to find a hole. That's not there. He does just enough to surge ahead for 2 yards. Be 2nd and 8. So right now, the Frisco Raccoons have been able to dodge a couple of bullets. They haven't given up anything but a 6-point touchdown. Obviously, there's no other touchdown, but.
Well, Graney will come under center now. 2 receivers, or 1 receiver to either side. Double tight set. Graney is going to hand off Funderburg, running right tackle, and he barrels his way up to the 27-yard line. And Kenny Alexander makes the stop for McKinney North, 6'2", 215-pound senior. And that'll bring up a second down, or third down rather. That'll bring up a third down and about 6.
So again, we look at what Funderburg's done. We saw he did some great things against McKinney, but right now against the North Bulldogs, that's his 5th carry for only 11 yards.
Third down and 6. 9:17 left to go. Graney's going to throw it, and it's incomplete to Michael Ray Mitchell. It'll bring up 4th down and punt time for Frisco. To recap on the drive here, Brogan Funderburg ran off right tackle for 2 yards, and then ran in once again for another 2 yards. And on third down, that play was just incomplete. Here's Evan Coachman on to punt for Frisco. It's a high, wobbly kick. Brandon Dunn's going to let it bounce. Actually, Michael Ray Mitchell makes an over-the-shoulder catch for Frisco at the 42-yard line. Willie Mays Hayes over there for Frisco.
Well, it looked good, but, that's one of the things in high school football is if it's a 25-yard punt, you have the ability to turn that into a 50-yard punt based on the roll, but he caught it over his shoulder for some reason. I'm not sure what the intent was there, because as it is now, it's merely a 30-yard punt.
And, at this point, I think McKinney North, here in the second quarter with 9:04 left to go in the second, at some point they're going to have to say, okay, guys, it's time to get rolling.
Yeah, just calm down. I think there's a lot of nerves right now. This is the biggest game they've played in all year.
Herbal, shotgun, Barrett behind him, handoff Barrett, right tackle, and met, and bam, at the 39-yard line. A.J. Hendricks makes a stop, and Chase Barrett is a little slow to get up, and now we'll go back. But, wow, what a hit that was.
Well, right now it looks like the Frisco defense is playing man coverage in the secondary, and that allows them to keep their linebackers close to the line of scrimmage. They may have been keeping them back on the first drive. That allowed Chase Barrett to get so many yards, but he's been pretty silent. He's lost now 4 yards on his last 3 carries.
That's a 2-yard loss there. 2nd and 12. 8:28 left to go second quarter. Herbal wants to throw it. Throws it out to the big tight end. That's Olsen. First down up to the 42-yard line in Frisco territory. A big gainer there. It looks kind of strange to see a kid that big catch the football and keep rumbling, but Olsen makes the catch. He's the all-time leading tight end receiver, I guess, in McKinney North school history. 15 career catches, 168 yards, and a touchdown. Give him one more catch right there.
Well, Jeff Olsen loves to punish the guys trying to tackle him. In this case, it was Curtis Kazansky. He was ready to lower his shoulder, but Kazansky's the backup quarterback, took Jeff Olsen's legs out.
Barrett gets the handoff. Right tackle, 40, flag down. Barrett at the 39-yard line. A gain of 4, but let's check the flag.
Looks like it'd be a holding.
And it is against McKinney North.
It'll be a legal block, according to the public address.
So again, Frisco in the second quarter scores 78 points, or have all year long, and given up 35. So this is one of their better quarters defensively as well. Something's got to give here, because McKinney North, this is their best quarter offensively by far. 165 points in the second quarter. The next best is the third with 75.
Well, right now they're going to have the work cut out for them here on this series of downs. 1st and 25 after the 15-yard penalty. Right now both teams racking it up in terms of penalty yardage. That is the 4th penalty on North for 45 yards. Meanwhile, if you go to the other side for Frisco, they've got 4 penalties for 50 yards, so almost 100 combined penalty yards.
First down and 25 for McKinney North. That's from their own 42. Herbal moves to the left side. Or Barrett, rather. Herbal wants to throw. Throws it out to Olsen again, who makes the catch shy of the midfield stripe at the 48-yard line and goes out of bounds there. They'll mark him actually at the 49, I believe. So with 7:58 left to go in the second quarter, McKinney North on top, 6-0.
That may be something that McKinney North tries to look into a little bit more, find ways to get the ball in Jeff Olsen's hands, because he wasn't tackled. He just ran out of real estate because he was on the sideline. And he still wasn't down. He was still on his feet.
Mooney to the near side, Douglas to the far side. McKinney North moving left to right towards that north end zone. Herbal, shotgun. He's going to hand off to Barrett, running left guard up the middle, and he's met right there. Nothing doing. Maybe a yard or two, but obviously that's not going to pick up the 18 that they needed on that second down play.
Now it looks like officially it'll be about 1.5 yards, so now what's going to have to take is basically a long pass play, but that plays right into the hands of the North Bulldogs.
You know, Blake Mooney is averaging 19 yards per catch.
Guess what? They need 16, so put it in perspective.
Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Herbal, shotgun, 3rd down and 16. Herbal drops back 2 steps, looking left side, has his man, and it's dropped, but I believe there's some interference going on there on that far side. Jeff Olsen was the intended receiver, and it'll be Alphonse Coleman, the man in coverage, and I believe that's going to be against Frisco.
Oh, clearly Jeff Olsen doesn't drop a whole lot of passes. We've seen one all year. It just happened to be a touchdown a couple weeks ago, but he was camped down like Jeff Olsen does, a big body, and when somebody hits him from behind, you know you have to hit Jeff Olsen to make a move, and he was going backwards. He didn't see the ball come in, and that's what caused him to drop it.
It's kind of like Sean Bradley against Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, very much. Except picture Sean Bradley about 1.5 feet taller, and that's kind of the ratio you have with Jeff Olsen and whoever's trying to defense on. That's just a big kid. This guy would be a very good offensive lineman, but he has the hands of a good receiver. He doesn't have a lot of speed, but a lot of strength and muscle, and loves to hit people.
Well, it's 1st down. That helps. 1st and 10, 7:13 left to go, second quarter. McKinney North on top, 6-0. Herbal, shotgun. Drops back 3 steps, looks left side, throws it out for Olsen again, who makes a one-handed catch. I believe. No. I saw the ball fly away, so they may rule it incomplete.
He didn't have control of it. He was bringing it in. And in order to have control, by the definition of the rule, you have to have both hands on the ball. So while he had possession of it, he was swinging it around, never brought it into his body, and therefore it hit the ground incomplete. If he could have just gotten his hand out there and been able to cradle it to his body, it would have been a very good play.
Second play of the drive, or 7th, rather.
Whoa.
7th play of the drive for McKinney North. This is going to be a handoff. Barrett running left tackle, cuts it back to the inside across center up to the 40-yard line. So a gain of 5 on 2nd down. And under 7 minutes here in the second quarter. McKinney North on top, 6-0 over Frisco in the district championship game.
Well, in a game like this, you got to like the ability of the Bulldog defense over the North over the Frisco offense, because they're just a much more well-rounded unit, and you just got to hope your offense can control the ball, and that's what they've been doing. This is only their 4th possession of the game.
3rd and 5. Herbal wants to throws it out, and it's just over the head, or over the arms, rather, of, I believe that's Aaron Fuller, who's going to get off the turf, and it is. And Herbal just hasn't been on the money tonight. You know, we've bragged about him all year long because, my goodness, he's completing 77% of his passes, and that's unheard of.
Not tonight. He's only 5 of 12, and, you know, there's been a couple of drops along the way, but not enough to really account too much in the percentage. He's just overthrowing, underthrowing, missing his receivers.
Well, the 9th play of the drive will be a punt. Brandon Dunn will stand back at his own 46-yard line. The snap is back. It's good. Brandon Dunn is going to punt this one away. It's a high kick. This is going to be a good punt. Bounces at the 6-yard line, nice. Straight up, and Chris Williams knocks it back in, and that is going to be a great job by Chris Williams getting that ball back inside the 5-yard line, and it's going to be down at the 3. So a long way to go. Frisco has 98 yards to go. Oh, wait a minute. Are they down on that at the 1?
Well, that's where it was initially touched, and since it went backwards, I don't know. If it goes backwards, you have to count it, but if it goes forwards, for your punting team rather, in relation to them, if they touch it at the 1, but it's officially down to 3, it should be at the 3.
They're going to say at the 1 yard line. Now the officials are conferring here.
They should, because the Infinity killed it at the 3.
It was initially touched by Chris Williams at the 1, who knocked it back a little bit.
Yeah, it should be at the 3.
And then down at the 3, and the officials are going to move the ball here. John Lighty, we haven't talked to you in a little bit. Talk to us.
Yeah, guys, that was a great job by Chris Williams on that. He did get down the field and got that ball to be dead on the 1 yard line. That is a great effort, and that gives you defense a great chance to get in the safety here.
We're going to talk to you in a little bit about the mood of the team. They seem to be a little bit down. We'll come back to you. Graney wants to throw out of the end zone. 5 yards deep, throws it out, and it is incomplete. Denzel Brown, the intended receiver. Michael Scott in coverage. It'll be second down and 10 from the Frisco 3. Talk about the team itself down there. You're getting a feel of these guys. Now talk about it.
Well, the excitement is not down flat. It's just not as high as it's normally been. When things go your way in past games, and now tonight it hadn't gone quite your way with the ball dinking off the field goal post and just things like that.
All right, John, thank you very much. And they just don't seem their normal selves for some reason tonight. Here's Frisco. Graney wants to throw again, 5 yards deep in the end zone. Same play, I think. And Evan Coachman was wide open, but the ball was underthrown. Coachman didn't even make an effort to go back and get it at all.
Well, he didn't look until it was way too late for him to make any sort of adjustment. You talk about the night that Herbel's having, only 5 of 12 passing. Graney is 0 of 4. He has yet to complete a pass.
Rashad Robinson was in coverage there against Evan Coachman, if that tells you anything.
Right now, the bigger brothers to North, the McKinney Lions, are up 7-0 over Lake Dallas, trying to at least make the district record improved a little bit.
Third down. Here's Graney wanting to throw, and he undershoots Denzel Brown again. It's fourth down, and they have had no success at all throwing the football.
Let me illustrate again one reason why it is so important not to have a one-dimensional offense against a good defense. You have 1st and 10 at the 3 yard line, and you throw 3 straight incompletions because you just don't know how to throw the ball.
Update from Highland Park, 7-7 with Greenville. Wow. Evan Coachman punts out of his own end zone deep at the 9 yard line. Brandon Dunn lets it hit, and did he touch it? And they're going to say no. He came up to try to field the ball. It bounced right in front of him, and thank goodness for the Bulldogs it did not touch him because it bounced right by him. And I believe it was Denzel Brown who picked it up and acted like he was going to return it, but they say no. It bounced, and Brown touching it killed it at the 39 yard line.
Well, again, not a great play on special teams. That's a situation, again, for the Raccoons to be able to take that one a little bit further down the field on the punt, but because he thought it was touched by the Bulldogs, he picked it up and started running. They probably lost another 5 or 10 yards in field position. As it was a 36-yard punt. McKinney still takes over inside the 40. There's an illegal man downfield on that play by the Raccoons, and it was declined, so it would be 1st and 10 McKinney at the 39.
Herbel, shotgun, handoff, Barrett. That's Fruit Cole up the middle, bouncing his way to the 36-yard line. Josh Wakefield, the linebacker for Frisco, makes the stop. 5:50 left to go before half. 6-0. McKinney North still on top, but these Bulldogs would like to cushion that lead a little bit.
Well, you're playing with fire if you're Frisco, and you continue to give the Bulldogs good field position time after time, and that's exactly what they're doing. This is the second time they've started near midfield. This time it's inside their own 40.
Ball at the 35-yard line, and this is going to be a handoff to Fruit Cole, fighting his way towards the first down mark inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. That's going to be very close. John Lighty, how close are they?
Guys, they're about a half a yard short. We're going to go to 3rd down and 1 right here.
All right. Thank you very much, John. That'll take the ball to the 29-yard line in Frisco territory. 3rd and a half yard. Herbel, shotgun as always. Fruit Cole stands behind him and a little bit to the left. Handoff Fruit up the middle. Bang. First down to the 26-yard line. And this is the McKinney North Bulldogs that everyone has been talking about.
Well, they're just grinding it out down on the field, and that's what you want them to do.
The Bulldogs got off early, scoring on their first possession of the game. but have not scored since. First down and 10. Herbal wants to throw, looking left side, throws it out there, and it's caught by Douglas right at the sticks. A first down for McKinney North. And that's going to be at the 16-yard line, and that's what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, you can't defense that play if you're a defender unless you know exactly what it is, because the ball is halfway to the receiver by the time he makes the cut. It has to be a perfect pass. It was a gain of 10 yards, first down. That's the third passing first down, and the first one on this drive.
We also had a score from McKinney. They're up 7-0 over Lake Dallas. Again, Greenville and Highland Park knotted up at 7.
Yeah, that's going to change. I just don't see Highland Park sitting pat on that one.
First and 10. Herbal shotgun at the 16-yard line. Olson moves in motion. They're going to hand off to Fruit Cole. 15 to the 10. Down at the 7-yard line.
Fumble.
And there it is.
North got it, or Frisco got it.
Chris Warnick comes up with the football for Frisco. And for the first time this year, Fruit Cole has turned it over. Wow. This has been a really sloppy game.
Chris Warnick recovering it for the Raccoons. That's the second Frisco turnover, or rather a Bulldog turnover.
Well, we'll give the ball right back to Frisco right here with 4:21 left to go in the second quarter.
Well, that's deflating.
At their own 7-yard line, handoff Underberg up the middle. He's been very quiet, probably the most quiet first half he's ever had this year.
Well, prior to that play, 5 carries, 11 yards, and he only gains 1 there, so 6 for 12.
That's your leading rusher in the area.
Well, and let's face it, they didn't play the most demanding of non-district schedules, and they haven't gone through the heavyweights of McKinney North and Lake Dallas. They play Lake Dallas next week for the final 2. So Funderburg hasn't played against the best defenses this district has to offer.
Second down and 9 for Frisco. Graney under center, left-handed quarterback, drops back, wants to throw, and he overshoots his receiver Coleman, and that'll bring up a third down and 9.
0-6. Right now, Graney just not able to do much through the air. That time he finally at least was able to give his receiver a chance. Not the greatest of passes, but it still hit his hands. But because he had to outstretch for it, you know, there's not a lot you can do as a receiver when your quarterback doesn't hit you firmly.
Millard Sims and Michael Scott talking to each other on that far side, figuring out what they're going to do with the Evan Coachman who's out there. And this is Graney throwing. And it is Michael Ray Mitchell who makes the catch. And he has a first down out to the 20-yard line. A nice throw and catch there. Graney's first completion, I believe.
Yep, 1 of 7.
And that'll be a first down out to the 20-yard line. Still in Frisco territory, 3:37 before half. Frisco moving right to left.
Monty, that is the first non-penalty first down.
Millard Sims and Michael Scott still conferring over there. Michael Ray Mitchell split out wide right. Graney rolling out near side, wants to throw. He's left-handed, and he's going to tuck it and run to the 25-yard line and drug down right there. Brandon Dunn makes the stop. Came in with 63 tackles, leading the team. Actually, Colton Floyd, with the game of his life last week, had 17 tackles, and he and Brandon Dunn were now tied with 63 to lead the team.
And if you go back to that McKinney game, for those of you who are north, let me kind of recap it for you. Funderburg was a big player, but Graney's the one who made it happen. Right now, that's his 4th carry. He's at -4 yards, and plays are being made by that linebacking core because they're not allowing him to get behind him.
Graney wants to pass, throws a fade route out, and it is incomplete. Alphonse Coleman was the intended receiver. Kenny McGowan in coverage, and a flag comes down late. And Kenny McGowan is not happy.
Well, pass interference. He got his hand up there. Kenny better be careful. He kicked the ball, not maliciously, just to get it over to the referees. He better keep his cool because he's in trouble now for the pass interference.
And Coach Pratt is talking to Kenny McGowan, who puts his palms in the air as if to say, what? But Coach Pratt not happy with his actions there. It's okay to get a penalty.
Yeah.
But it's a different thing when you start kicking the football.
And you start getting discouraged because players like that, a lot of times it's a mental thing, and if you start letting it get into your head, then you start playing bad, and all of a sudden you give the offense just a little bit better chance of gaining yards on your side. This is where it's time for him just to buckle down and say, okay, that's the second one. Let's not let it happen again.
First down for Frisco at their own 41-yard line. Under 3 minutes now with 2:54 to go. Funderburg, the lone back. Double tight set. Graney wants to throw that same pass again to Coleman, and this time Kenny McGowan makes a great play to knock it away. The ball was thrown underneath a little bit. Coleman went down to grab it. Kenny McGowan came backside and just knocked it away.
Well, it was borderline offensive pass interference, but I could see you making the case that he was going for the ball, because that's what it might have been. He was on top of Kenny, and Kenny was trying to make a diving catch for it, so you can make the case that so was the receiver. And generally, if there's a benefit or a doubt, they'll give the benefit of the doubt to the receiver.
Ruben Gonzalez out of the game. Kirsten Williams in. Graney under center. Double tight set. Handoff. Funderburg, left tackle. Big hole. Up to the 45, down to the 47-yard line. A 7-yard gain on second down will bring up third and short. And that's the Funderburg that we saw against the McKinney Lions.
Well, that's only his longest of the game. So he has yet to run for a first down. They have yet to do anything but get 2 first downs via penalty and 1 via the pass earlier on this drive. If they're going to get going, they're going to need Funderburg.
Double tight set for Frisco, moving right to left. Graney under center. He is going to throw. Coleman near side, caught, 48-yard line, 45, gets away 40, 35, 30, and drugged down finally by Rodney Nelson, the linebacker. Nelson probably saved a touchdown there as somehow Coleman got away. They're going to mark the ball at the 30-yard line. 17-yard pass and catch. And with 2:01 left to go before half, McKinney North in the lead 6-0, but look out, Frisco. Graney drops back, wants to throw, throws it across the middle. Kenny McGowan makes a great play to come up and knock it down. And he gets up and he gives the incomplete signal.
And it's good to see that he's not getting flustered, because they've gone at him now these last few plays after that pass interference. And one of them, the Coleman, resulted in the second passing first down of the drive. But that one, he makes a nifty leap over the receiver, not touching him, and batting the ball down. And it's okay if you touch him if you're going for the ball, but you can't first get an advantage over the receiver by going for the ball, and you have to make sure you're going for the ball.
Second down and 10. Double tight set whistles will blow before this one can get underway. Flag down at the 32. False start against Frisco. Back it up. Second down and 15. Under 2 minutes at $1:50 before half. McKinney North on top, 6-0.
Again, penalties have been big for both sides. That is the 6th whistle against the Raccoons for 60 yards. Meanwhile, on the other side for the Bulldogs, it's their 5th penalty for 60 yards. So 120 combined penalty yardage, Monty. It hasn't been clean by any stretch, and you consider both sides have turned it over twice.
Scores to pass along. Lake Dallas now on top of McKinney 9-7. And the Colony over Frisco Centennial 14-10. Second down and 15 here. Frisco moving right to left. Graney back to pass. Looking left side. Throwing a fade route down for Michael Ray Mitchell. 2 defenders for McKinney North are there. And it's incomplete. Brandon Dunn and Kenny McGowan make a great play. And now it'll be third down and long. 3rd and 15 to be exact.
Inadvertently, the Frisco Raccoons got lucky because Dunn was about to make the interception, but the receiver fell on top of him as he was going down, and it jarred the ball loose, and he didn't mean to do it.
$1:44 left to go in the second quarter. 6-0. McKinney North on top. Brogan Funderburg and Colin Graney in the backfield. Graney throws it, and it's incomplete. Brandon Dunn, another great play, and a flag comes in late. Brandon Dunn really upset. You're going to have to watch it, Brandon. Palms in the air, talking to the official. You need to go back to the huddle. Dunn really upset there.
Got to get control of your emotions. Now is not the time. It will be a first down if it's pass interference against Dunn. Right now the referees are conferring if it is indeed a penalty, because in a situation like this, it would be a huge play in this game. It would give them 1st and 10.
And Kenny Alexander is acting like they're going to wave it off.
Well, that's what's going on right now. He's hearing one official say, okay, I don't know if I saw it.
They're going to wave it off.
Good call.
Obviously, Frisco upset. Many fans on the Raccoon side standing up now.
Well, and that's where you have to interpret the penalty. You can touch a receiver if you're going for the ball. And I don't think there's a question there that Dunn was going for the ball. The thing you have to determine is, did it give him an unfair advantage? And I don't think it did. He was just in better position.
Evan Coachman now into punt here. It's 4th down and 15. Trying to pin McKinney North deep here. The ball is resting at the 35. Coachman will stand at the 48. High snap, brings it down. It's a high punt. Wobbly, going to bounce at the 12-yard line. Brandon Dunn called for the fair catch, but he let it bounce at the 12, and it rolls down to the 6-yard line. So McKinney North, with $1:27 left to go before the second quarter, has 94 yards to go.
Just a 19-yard punt there, but you like the result, pinning North in within their 10-yard line. I'm not sure Dunn, obviously we can look back at it and say Dunn didn't make the right call. But basically, if you need to put your heels at the 10. If the ball goes over you, let it go. If the ball goes in front of you, fair catch it.
Well, Frisco's got to be happy with one aspect.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
a lot.
They took 3 minutes off the clock. They ran 12 plays. They controlled the quarter, but they didn't get anything out of it.
Well, but if you want to go to halftime trailing the Bulldogs 6-0.
Yeah, absolutely. They have some momentum here.
Of course, these guys can score any time at any place.
Herbal, shotgun. He's going to drop back 3 steps, looks to the right side, throwing it for Mooney, and it's incomplete. He threw it behind him. Herbal just hasn't been on tonight.
Well, I think there's miscommunication going on between himself and the receiver, because Mooney looked like he was running a fade, was looking back and saw the ball throwing as an out and had to stop and try to go back for it. That's why it was so wide. So I don't know whose fault it is, but something's not going right.
We're talking about a 77% completion passer.
And he's
this
6
year.
of 14.
Yeah, it's just very odd to see Eric Herbal struggle. We have not seen that this year.
And it's so odd to see him and his receivers not on the same page.
2nd down and 10 from their own 6 North. Herbal drops back, wants to pass, looks to the left side now. He's under pressure, drops out. Now he gets out to the 10 to the 12-yard line and flushed out of the pocket. Herbal just tucked it, and he did a great job.
Well, one of the few times that the defense of Frisco was able to get pressure on Herbal, and he had a receiver get behind his defender on the far side. He just couldn't see him because he had to escape pressure.
A minute on the clock, 3rd and 3. Herbal, shotgun. He's going to throw it. Swings it out to Douglas, and it's incomplete. Michael Ray Mitchell makes another great play at that cornerback position for Frisco.
Those just aren't plays he makes.
That was a quick in pass for Douglas. And
the defender was all over him while he had Chase Barrett coming out of the backfield running the flare down toward the end zone that a linebacker was on him, but you give Barrett the ball, he's going to make a play.
Here in the second quarter, McKinney North's possessions have ended on a 41-yard missed field goal, and then a punt, and then a Fruit Cole fumble, which was very costly, and now another punt as Brandon Dunn stands at the goal line, and he'll punt this one away. It's a high wobbly kick that's going to land at the 48-yard line, take a little north bounce before bouncing back to Frisco and dead at the 47-yard line in North territory. Only 42 seconds left on the second quarter clock, and McKinney North shockingly only up 6-0 here.
35-yard punt from Brandon Dunn gives Frisco a chance. I'm not going to say that they're going to be in good position. They've got 42 seconds to go 47 yards on an offense that's not designed to go 47 yards in 42 seconds. This plays right into Frisco's hands. I'm a little bit worried right now because as long as it's close, they're in good shape.
Denzel Brown near side, Evan Coachman in the slot. Graney under center. Michael Ray Mitchell split out wide right. Brogan Funderburg in the backfield. 7 yards behind the center. Graney on 1st and 10 is going to hand off Funderburg up the middle. Spins out of one tackle to the 45 down to the 43-yard line, and he's like riding a bronking bull. Rodney Nelson makes the stop. Funderburg, when he gets going, really gets going. Under 30 seconds now. 2nd down and 6. Frisco. They're going to hand off Funderburg again, barreling his way up to the line of scrimmage and maybe a gain of a couple of yards to the 42-yard line. And what are they doing?
I think they're just giving it up. I think they're content going to halftime.
Well, a timeout has been called. They do call a timeout
Frisco
here.
called it.
Yeah, Frisco calls a timeout, which is very strange.
So they run for 4 yards, then run for 1 yard, and basically take
23
seconds off the clock.
makes no sense.
And then they call a timeout. I mean, I guess they're trying to get a bomb in, but you would think they would have a little bit more urgency to make it, throw it down the field. They'd still have about 10 more seconds if they were both incomplete.
Maybe they're just trying for one play.
Well, but that's not smart. I mean, they can't. There's no reason you would try for one play.
That's the only thing that I can think of.
Because at one play, what would you rather do if you're going to go for one play or three? I'll take my chances with three.
Well, I'll tell you what. You can ask McKinney about one play that happened last year that Evan Coachman caught to set up a field goal.
Yeah, but the odds are of it happening all the time versus if you make it for 3 times. Granted, the odds of a turnover are greater too, but at the same time, this is an offense that didn't look like they were trying to score, and then they call a timeout to set up one big play. Now it's 3rd and 5. You can still run it, I guess, for the first down.
And Funderburg will stand in his normal 7-yard lone setback position. Graney wants to throw, drops back, throws it down the field, the home run ball, and it is caught, and it's a touchdown for Frisco. Denzel Brown makes the catch on a 42-yard touchdown strike, Colin Graney. And they tie the game with 17 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Unbelievable.
Well, maybe they were trying for one play and they just knew it would work.
Wow.
Okay, no, something's not right. That play didn't take 2 seconds.
Well, Naughton will send this extra point on through. So Frisco, North Texas is going to be shocked at this halftime score if it holds. 7-6, Frisco on top of McKinney North. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Well, 3 plays, 47 yards for Frisco on the drive. It was capped off by that 42-yard Graney to Denzel Brown. Touchdown. And that leaves 17 seconds on the clock here before the half. Frisco has the lead 7-6 over McKinney North.
Deflating.
And we're looking at Highland Park score going Greenville, Highland Park 7-7. That's not going to happen. Here we are with our own game of McKinney North trailing 7-6.
This is the second time they've trailed all year, and it's come now in back-to-back games.
Well,
and you know what? It's not the defense's fault. Who would have thought we'd have been able to say that? That was a perfect pass by Graney.
Oh, they're now moving
the
clock down to 12 seconds. They're now going to say that there's 12 seconds on the clock.
Well, that makes a lot more sense. Because there was no way you could run 42 yards in 2 seconds.
Right.
I mean, it's physically impossible.
Anthony Naughton tees this one up, approaches the ball, and it's a high kick going to be taken.
Let it go.
Well, it's going to go out of bounds. Kenny McGowan's going to let it go out of bounds.
Well, I said let it go. He didn't have a choice. It landed out of bounds. Well, let me give you a hint, Frisco. Put him out. You can't do stuff like give him 5 extra yards.
Well, for some reason, the McKinney North offense just has not been on track tonight.
Well, and it starts with the quarterback, and we're not going to say this very often, but Herbal's not hitting on all cylinders today.
No, Herbal hasn't looked like Eric Herbal so far tonight. Again, a 77% on his completions this year, 64 in his career, which includes 3 years. He's not anywhere close to any of those numbers.
It's just amazing. I mean, this is the antithesis of what we've seen from the McKinney North offense all year. You know what? If you'd have told me before the game, hey, your defense is going to give 7 points in one half, I'd take it. Because you know your offense is going to do better than that.
Well, you thought. So far.
It may not be true, but you know it.
So far not. Here's a low line drive kick by Naughton. It's going to bounce at the 20. Going to be taken by Barrett at the 15. Coming up far side. Has a seam out to the 30 to the 31-yard line. And 6 seconds on the clock before the half. And normally I'd say, well, they'll probably go for it. But I bet you, I just have a gut feeling they're just going to down it.
I don't know.
And go into the locker room here.
My record's not good for this game about what coaches are going to do.
That's true.
But, what are you going to lose? You've got one of the best receiving combinations, not only in the district, not only in the area, but in the state. Well, what have you got to lose? There's the likelihood of an interception return for a touchdown is minimal. They're not going to get the ball again if they do intercept it because time will run out. So why not?
Well, you may be right, Brandon. And this looks like that's what they're going to line up and do here. 2 H-backs, and nope, they're going to down it. Eric Herbal takes a knee. So what do we know? That's the end of the first half, and hold your socks and pull. It's 7-6 Frisco on top of McKinney North. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium here in McKinney. I'm Brandon Helms. Now joining me, our sideline man, well, I call him JL, just for fun. It's really John Leidy. John, how we doing tonight?
Well, actually, if you look at the first half, you have to question yourself, again, like Rodney and Monty got to, what team is this on the field? I mean, this is not the normal McKinney North Bulldogs out there. I mean, they're committing penalties after penalties, and you're also getting drop passes that are overthrown, and that's actually, and even with the field goal that dinked off the left up the post, the momentum and the attitude on the sideline actually went down. People were going, well, what is going on here? What are we doing wrong? Why? They've never experienced this the whole year. They've gotten out to an early 21-0 lead in most cases, and then it's been just cruising from there. I mean, it's going to be a very interesting second half.
Well, if there's anyone here on the broadcast that's closer to the team, it's arguably you. Obviously, Monty does stuff with the guys during the week, but we're stuck up here in the box. We don't actually get to see what's going on during the game. I mean, what has it been like attitude-wise, from the kickoff? Obviously, it was the pretty standard thing. They were riding high coming out of their banner thing. So what's been the morale and the attitude of the team from the time they got the fumble on the first kickoff of the game, they scored, then they were just moving along until the exact opposite at the end?
Well, I mean, they had great momentum off the kickoff, scored that touchdown, and it's just that series and that series only, the momentum was way up there, and it's just slowly leaned towards Frisco here, and they scored that touchdown right there at the end of the first half there. The defense side of the ball, I guess you could say the defensive backs have not been tested, and it's surprising that Frisco has thrown as many times as they have. I am very close, as you mentioned, to McKinney North Bulldogs football team, and I've done something in the past that I should have been doing, kind of joking around with the players, kind of, hey, how you doing? Because they've been up 35-42-0, and this week it's just like, get out of my face. I mean, hey, so
kind of like up here in the booth.
They're mad.
What we say to you.
They're mad.
All right, yeah.
So coming out in the second half, I look for the McKinney North Bulldogs to just take that meanness and put it to Frisco.
Well, you're a guy who can probably comment on it a lot better than we can, but if there's ever a team that's likely to take the negative, funnel it into a positive, you'd think it'd be the Bulldogs.
It is, and Coach Duck has done a great job. Each time defense comes off the field, he's talking with specific players on, hey, let's do this next time, let's do that. And they do really good in the halftime, making adjustments and coming out in the second half and shutting everything down. And I really look forward to that probably happening right here in the second half.
You mentioned Kenny Duck, the defensive coordinator. I mean, if you look at one side of the ball that's done their job, I mean, is the defense. They've caused 2 turnovers. They have a sack in the mix. They haven't given up a rushing first down. They've given up only 2 passing first downs and given up 2 of them themselves via the penalty, 2 pass interference by Kenny McGowan. So you mentioned defense coordinator Coach Duck. There's not much else your defense can do. But now you have to look toward the other side. Your offense, they've got to get it going. Your defense can't do much more than that. It's up to your offense to get it up to the level they are. And what do you think you're going to see? I mean, these are your guys that you've been around with, and some of them were your former classmates when you were with the high school. I mean, what do you expect the offense to do?
Well, the offense is going to get the ball here in the second half as they are receiving. I expect the offensive line to control this game. There was questions earlier in the game by the coaches to a couple of the players. Are you giving your all to me right now? And what we were getting by that was the pulling guards were passing up that tackle that's penetrating the line right off the bat. It needed to be picked up right there and was actually stopping the running backs in the backfield. So I look for the offensive line to actually set the tone coming out of the second half here.
All right, Don, thanks a lot. We'll hear from you throughout the game down there on the sidelines. Coming up next, Monty and I will get a preview of the second half, what we expect to see between the Frisco Raccoons, the visitors, and the McKinney North Bulldogs, of course, the home team. They've got the 14-game winning streak on the line. They trail at halftime 7-6 to the Raccoons. Coming up next, we'll get you that preview here on 97.5 KLAK.
Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, John Leidy, and Jared Foyt. Scores to pass along elsewhere, 28-14, Highland Park over Greenville. Lake Dallas over McKinney. Last score we had 9-7. And the Colony leading Frisco Centennial 14-10. But I think the big story in Class 9 4A is right here in our own Ron Poe backyard.
Well, not only Class 9 4A, but probably 4A in general in the area particularly. There's not a game right now that has as much implications in terms of the district standings as this game does.
And that's true. And let's go ahead and give you the score. And
again,
you might want to take a deep breath here if you're a McKinney North Bulldog fan. 7-6, Frisco.
Well, I say again because normally we don't have a problem giving out the score all throughout the halftime because it's, like last week, they had a double lead over, you double Lake Dallas' score and they were still ahead. But today, for the first time this year, Monty, the Bulldogs trail at halftime.
Yeah, and this is probably a halftime speech Sean Pratt hasn't been accustomed to since Highland Park of last year.
Yeah.
He hasn't been down at half since Highland Park of last year.
Well,
so new territory for him, or at least territory that he's not familiar with in a long time.
And if you want to stretch it even further, they didn't do it a whole lot last year to begin with. And, the year before is where you have to look at when he's meaningfully had to do this on a consistent basis.
This is a team that has won 14 consecutive games here at Ron Poe Stadium. And they find themselves trailing here 7-6 to Frisco, who is a very good football team, but they, to be honest with you, have not been in this game all night.
Well, and
it's been McKinney North who really has controlled the football game.
Oh, yeah.
But, hey, Frisco has the lead.
Well, it's like when we were doing the halftime stats, McKinney North has outgained Frisco by greater than 50 yards in total offense, and Frisco doesn't have 100 yards. They're averaging less than 50 yards per quarter, but they got 42 of it on one play. So, that tells you how good this defense has been, so now it's up to the offense to get it going. I'm not sure that this offense, as good as they are, can do this in the second half. I think at some point they're going to get it together. I was thinking about this too, Monty. The weather might be playing a factor. Last week wasn't too cold, and that could be affecting the grip that Eric Herbal has on the ball. It's a little bit harder, and therefore could be throwing it a little bit off.
We might have to check and see if he's wearing any gloves or anything of that nature, because you're right. Eric Herbal has not been Eric Herbal tonight. For some reason or other, the 77 percentage completion passer is nowhere near that tonight. It's just unbelievable. I'm sorry, I had those numbers wrong. 6 out of 15, I believe, for Herbal.
Yeah, that's a 40% completion percentage.
Yeah, that's obviously a lot less than what he is accustomed to.
Oh, yeah.
64 for his career, 77 this year, which is just incredible.
Well, I don't expect that to continue for two halves.
Well, you wouldn't think so.
He's just too good of a player, and these receivers are just too good. And the receivers, it hasn't been a case of the drops either. So if Herbal can get it on track, then you're looking at your offense going back to what it was.
Although you have to tip your hat to Michael Ray Mitchell, who has done a great job on David Douglas tonight. Again, Douglas, 2 catches for 15 yards in the first half, and he's your all-time single-season leading receiver.
Well, I don't know. Again, I don't want to take credit away from him, but I don't know just how much he can do when Herbal's not hitting his receivers.
That's true. But
it's easy to be a good defender when your quarterback's missing you.
But I do know of at least 2 or 3 plays that Mitchell got in front of Douglas and knocked the ball down.
Right, and I'll give you that, and that's true. He is playing good defense there, but the Herbal that we know doesn't throw that ball.
True.
He just doesn't do it. So, again, it goes back to Herbal. If he goes back to what he has been doing, just throws the open receiver, you know what? It's better to carry the ball for 1 yard than it is to throw an incompletion. And that's what he's not doing. Herbal only has 2 carries, and while he's not a prolific runner, generally he'll get between 5 and 10 carries per game. And so far he's far below that. I don't expect that to continue. I really don't. They'll get it going.
we're watching Eric Herbal warm up, and he is not wearing gloves as he warms up here, and we wouldn't presume that he does normally. I don't normally watch
he doesn't.
His hands, but
what's happening, his hands, number one, are colder, which means they don't quite have the grip, because as it gets colder, they get number, and therefore you don't feel the ball as well. And number two, when the ball gets harder, your grip on it is a little bit different because it's not as giving, therefore it's not as easy to hold. If you want to look at it, think about a football-sized deal of Play-Doh. If it's soft and squishy, you're going to be able to hold it more because it gives in and it allows you to get a hold on it, whereas if it's completely, say, glass of that size, it doesn't give at all, therefore it's harder to hold.
Well, McKinney North, thanks to the coin toss, will have the ball starting out here in the second half. They're just about the actual captains are coming out to do their official, I guess you will, official.
Basically to make it official.
Right.
All McKinney has to do is say, yes, we want the ball, North.
New score from Lake Dallas. McKinney on top, 16-14. We're going to take a quick timeout. Be back with second half action on 97.5 KOAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Look out, 7-6, Frisco on top here at the half. We're about to be underway here for the second half. Here come the McKinney North Bulldogs coming out, breaking through their paper run through here in the second half. Colton Floyd leads them out along with David Douglas, Rashad Robinson, and others. We had John Leidy trying to track down a coach and see what they said at half. We'll get back with him in just a moment. I believe John just talked to a coach. John, talk to us.
Yeah, guys, the talk during halftime was stop shooting yourself in the foot, stop being starry-eyed. You're finally in a game this year, and let's go out and take care of business like we've done in the past. That's just the talk for the halftime.
All right.
That's pretty standard, about what we had expected.
Yeah, especially for a team who has not turned the ball over a lot this year. Matter of fact, 8 turnovers coming into tonight's football game for the McKinney North Bulldogs, 3 via the interception and 5 via the fumble. And 2 costly turnovers tonight. One fumble by Fruit Cole at the 7-yard line as they're about to punch it in.
Well, you accurately put it. They were driving. They were getting yards. They were getting greater than 5 yards every play. And that's one thing that'll kill you every time is you've turned the ball over. However, Frisco's done it too.
Kenny McGowan and Chase Barrett will go back deep. They will move left to right. Frisco will line up with their kicker, Anthony Naughton. And they'll kick off from obviously the 40-yard line.
Well, this is why the Bulldogs like to defer at halftime when they win the toss, because now they're down by a point, but they get the ball first, and this is where they want to set the tone for the second half.
Naughton will come up to the tee. It's in the air. It's a high kick, going to be taken by Kenny McGowan. That's McGowan up to the 15-20, runs into one of his own teammates and is knocked down at the 25-yard line, and that's where McKinney North will start here in the second half, needing to really gain some momentum here on this first drive.
Well, they're set up in good position. They're going to be right square on the 25-yard line. This is not a bad start and not a great start, but now it's just up to your offense. I think what Frisco's done, we got to give credit to their defense. They made an adjustment. They were more geared toward a passing game on the first series, which is while Chase Barrett was able to get 22 yards on the drive, culminating in a touchdown. And then all they did was make an adjustment, put man-on-man in the secondary, and now it's up to the Frisco offense, or rather the North offense, to respond.
Herbal is going to run the option. He's going to keep it and tucks it up and is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Might have even lost. Well, no, he's going to gain a couple of yards. A.J. Hendricks makes the stop for Frisco. Call it a 3-yard gain on first down. It'll bring up second down and 7. Again, Frisco in the lead here, 7-6. Early on in the second quarter, or third quarter, 11:33 left to go.
Say what you will about the quarterback, but you can't deny his toughness. On that play was an option to the right side. He saw Holt, took it, and when he saw White, he lowered his shoulder and was able to get an extra yard because he did it.
Olsen goes in motion. Moving left to right is McKinney North. Handoff Barrett, running right tackle. Gets a block outside Denzel Brown. And he actually shoved Denzel Brown and got out of bounds at the 37-yard line.
And then Coach Barrett tackled, Chase Barrett tackled Coach Pratt on the outside. Pratt tried to stop his momentum. No, pardon me, that's not Coach Pratt. That's one of the assistant coaches. Gives him a good pat on the head. Nice run by Chase. gets him up another first down.
Moves the sticks. 1st and 10 for McKinney North. 11-12 left to go in the third quarter. 7-6 Frisco on top. Herbal, shotgun formation. Barrett stands behind him and a little bit flanked to the left. Herbal is going to get it. He's going to run the option to the left side. He pitches it this time out to Barrett, who has a big hole. 30, 45, 50, 45, 40. Look out, 35 and down at the 31-yard line, and that's the biggest play of the night so far for the McKinney North Bulldogs.
Well, they only needed 10 for the first down play on first down, and instead they take it all the way down to inside the 30. Actually, pardon me, right on the 30. A nice little gain there. 33 yards.
The option play is something that looks like they talked about it at the half.
Yeah, they didn't run it at all in the first half, and then twice here in 3 plays in the second they run it with decent success.
Mooney near side, shotgun Herbal. He's going to run the option again, left side, tucks it this time, and he's going to gain several yards up to the 26, flag down from the back judge. The officials tonight, the referee Ken Rohn, umpire Mike Fitch, head linesman Mark Payne, the line judge Kevin Hassel, and the back judge, Lyndon Nixon, who just threw that flag. They are out of the Dallas chapter, I presume. It's not listed here, but
generally that's what happens. It looks like it's against McKinney. They're marking it off backwards, so negate the play, and it's in the lines of a holding. It's a 10-yard penalty.
They're going to back it up all the way to the 40-yard line, all the way back to the 40.
It'll be 1st and 20 now, but Chase Barrett on one play has gotten 33, so that shouldn't phase this offense. They really don't look at the sticks on first down. They just know to run the play, and they usually do pretty well on first downs, which is why it's such a successful offense.
Herbal, handoff, Barrett trying to come near side, cuts it back inside a little bit, tackled by a host of Frisco Raccoons up to the 37-yard line. Gain of 3. So it'll bring up 2nd down and long. Again, the passing game just has not been there for McKinney North. Herbal at the half was 6 out of 15, an interception and 65 yards, no touchdowns.
Well, Monty, if you notice, they haven't thrown it yet. They've run the ball now 5 times, including the penalty. Only 4 plays of record. They have yet to throw it. You might think it's coming here at 2nd and 17.
Mooney to the near. And Herbal looks that way, throws it wide open at the 22-yard line, makes one defender. Well, he shuffles his feet a little bit. Now a late flag comes in at the end of the play, and I think you're right. That's going to be a face mask against Curtis Kazansky, who was right there. But Mooney made the catch, and that's where McKinney North looks like McKinney North.
Yeah, they are able to, or rather Eric Herbal's able to read the ball very well and notice that Mooney was wide open down the sideline.
He was wide open.
Well, that's the first time we've actually seen a pretty big breakdown in the Frisco secondary. They haven't done that a whole lot this game.
He had at least 10 yards separation from the cornerback, who simply just overran the pattern.
Yeah, an incidental 5-yard face mask, a gain of 19 on the pass play, and a gain of 5 with the penalty.
2.5 minutes gone here in the third quarter. 7-6 Frisco on top, but McKinney North knocking on the door here at the 12-yard line. Herbal, handoff, Barrett up the middle, sidesteps one defender, and gains his way out to the line of scrimmage. He might have gained a yard. They'll call it the 12-yard line, actually in between the 11 and the 12.
Just a gain of 1 from Barrett. He's getting close to the 100-yard mark now. He's at 89. And Monty, going back to that last pass play, it was for a first down. That is the 4th pass that has gone for a first down out of the 7 completions. So it's still the offensive hold when they make completions.
Herbal in the shotgun. Barrett stands a yard behind him and to the right. Herbal wants to throw, looking for Douglas on the far side. Caught inside the 5, fighting his way, and he's not going to be able to make his way out of the tackle over there from Denzel Brown, and also over there for Frisco is Matt Kelly coming up and making the stop. So, but a nice gain there. To the 5-yard line goes McKinney North on that 7-yard gain. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Big play for McKinney North. Mooney all the way to the near side. Herbal and Barrett in the backfield. Olsen, the tight end, goes in motion. Handoff. Barrett, left side. He barrels his way down to the 2-yard line. It is a first down for McKinney North, and what a huge first down that is. They've got 4 cracks at it here to get in the end zone and take the lead.
Well, the way the blocking was set up, it looks like it was supposed to be off tackle to the left side. However, on that left side, between Daniel Holt and Kirsten Williams, the tackling guard respectively, there was a pretty big hole, and Chase just bursted up through there. He knew he had enough for a first down, and he was aiming for a touchdown. However, he stopped just short, but he did get that all-important first down.
Under 8 minutes, Herbal gets it. He wants to throw, looking right side into the end zone, and it's intercepted at 5 yards deep in the end zone by Frisco. Coming up with the interception is A.J. Hendricks, the linebacker. Herbal just didn't see him.
Well, he read that perfectly, did Hendricks. I mean, Olsen was wide open, but Hendricks was playing just enough off of Olsen that Herbal didn't see him. Herbal threw a light pass over to Olsen to make sure he'd catch it. But unfortunately, because it was light, it was also easily intercepted. Boy, that blows it. Man, that's what we talk about when we talk about tonight's game. They looked really good. They went from the 25 down to the 2, but they just couldn't finish it.
At their own 20-yard line, Frisco will take over, moving right to left. They're going to hand off. Brogan, Funderburg, running left side. Big hole, 25-30, look out. 35, barrels to the 40, 45-50. Chased down from behind by Brandon Dunn. Wow. Brogan Funderburg is a load to bring down. He's ranked number 1 in the area in rushing for a reason, and he just showed it right there.
37-yard gain puts his total up to 60 now on the game. Put in perspective how well they've been playing. That's the first time the McKinney North defense didn't look that great. One of the defenders just got bowled over by a stiff arm from Funderburg, and that's not something they've done at all this year.
Ball at the 43, and Funderburg is going to roll up across right tackle for a couple of yards out to the 38-yard line, about a 5-yard gain on first down. And now, Frisco is in position now where they can run Funderburg as much as they want. Early on in the first half, they were trailing and they were trying to throw the football a little bit, and didn't have Funderburg involved in the game. They can do that now. They have that luxury. Leading 7-6 here. Handoff. Funderburg, right side, big hole, runs over McKinney North safety. And not enough for the first down. He actually ran over Rodney Nelson, the linebacker, at the 35-yard line. And that's where they'll spot the ball, in between the 35 and the 36.
Well, expanding on that point you were just making, being a close game low plays into Frisco's hands. If it were a close game with high scoring, Frisco doesn't have enough firepower to compete.
Double tight set, 3rd down and 3. Graney wants to pass the fade route out to Coleman, and it is caught at the 10-yard line. First down for Frisco. Kenny McGowan allows Coleman to make the over-the-shoulder catch there. And, man, when the big plays are made tonight, it's been Frisco who's making them. A 25-yard gain for Frisco. Set up first down and goal from the 10. Funderburg, the lone setback. Graney under center, double tight set. And Coleman goes in motion early for Frisco, and that'll be 5 yards. It'll be first and goal from the 15 now.
Well, that'll be big because the hardest first and goal to make is at the 10. It actually might help Frisco because that extra real estate gives the defense less room to compact in and making a play. Going back to that catch, Jared points out very aptly, great catch there on the reception by Alphonse Coleman. That was a fingertip grab, and he grabbed it with his fingers, tucked it into his body, and was able to fall on it so the ball ground wouldn't cause it to be an incompletion. And you just can't do it any better than that. And you wonder if the Frisco can make that play, why they haven't done it more often.
Here's Graney in trouble, and he's sacked by Colton Floyd all the way back to the 26-yard line.
That way, Colt 45.
They will actually give him forward progress to the 21. But what a play that was by Colt 45.
You remember going back to the McKinney game, Colin Graney had 200 yards of rushing offense, or had over 100 yards, rather. Funderburg had over 200. Right now, there's not a lot going out of Funderburg today, or rather Graney. He's got 5 carries for negative 10 yards, so the defense doing a real good job in limiting him in terms of what he's done on the ground, but it's a surprising passing that's hurting the Bulldogs.
5:13 left to go in the third quarter clock. McKinney North trailing 7-6. Graney, the Frisco quarterback, throwing over across the middle, and it is intercepted by Kenny McGowan at the 5-yard line.
There we go.
Kenny McGowan will make plays on the field that some can't make.
Well, you wonder why you keep a guy like that who has occasional pass interference and makes a bonehead play every now and then. It's because he does that. There was no way he should have intercepted that, but somehow he just had a burst of speed, jumped in front of the receiver, didn't touch him, and now it's an interception. So now what we've done, we've seen 2 turnovers on each end of the field. McKinney has now once again grabbed a little bit of momentum. Now it's up to the Bulldogs to grab it back and use it on their offensive side, get some points on the board.
5:04 left to go on the third quarter. McKinney North at their own 5-yard line. Moving south to north, left to right. Handoff, Barrett, left tackle. He's got the 10-yard line down at the 11. A 6-yard or 5-yard run on first down. And 5-yard Barrett from last year returns here. And that brings the ball out to the 11-yard line.
Well, I can't say that I'm disappointed to hear you say that. 5-yard Barrett will win you ball games. Right now, with a close ball game and still plenty of time, I'd like to see 5-yard Barrett a bunch.
McKinney North in a dogfight here. Third quarter, 7-6, trailing to Frisco. Handoff, Barrett, right tackle. Gets a block outside, and he actually couldn't get that block from Blake Mooney. Down at the 15-yard line. It's going to be close to enough for a first down, and it is.
Well, you say couldn't get the block. Mooney held his own. The problem was Barrett's footing didn't. He slipped on that play.
Barrett was trying to read the block and figure out which way to go according to the block by Mooney. And like you said, Mooney held his ground, but he couldn't figure out which way to go and just actually ran into it.
Well, he did. He just cut and slipped. His shoes couldn't hold the grip.
Herbal, shotgun. He's going to hand off out to Barrett, left tackle, and he's caught in the backfield, and that's going to be a loss. A big play over there by A.J. Hendricks, the linebacker, who's played a whale of a game so far tonight. Already an interception to his credit, and now give him a big loss.
Well, and he's one reason that, aside from that first series by Chase, he's been relatively quiet in that first half because their middle linebacker's playing pretty good.
They're going to mark the ball at the 15-yard line, second down and 11, so call it a 1-yard loss. 3:39 left to go, third quarter. Herbal bobbles the snap, brings it down, pitches it out to Barrett. Look out, 20, 25-30, first down, 35-40, cuts it inside and dragged down at the 42-yard line. Curtis Kazansky makes the stop, but Chase Barrett was off and rolling. And now McKinney North is nearing that midfield stripe. They're going to mark it at the 44.
I'll take a 29-yard gain any day. Monty is a option that started out a little scary because Eric bobbled the pass, but he was able to get it to Chase when a defenseman was coming at him. And, of course, Chase just did the rest, used his skills and his blockers to get near midfield.
Olsen goes in motion. Handoff, Barrett. He's met in the backfield. Another great play by Frisco. And this time it's going to be A.J. Hendricks again who makes the stop. They're really stunting those linebackers. Either that or he's reading it very fast.
No, they're coming in on a blitz because right now they don't think McKinney North's passing game is going to be able to do a whole lot of damage. Now's the time I think we might want to see a play-action pass.
Well, the ball is going to be rested at the 42-yard line. A 2-yard loss with 2:37 left to go, third quarter. Left to right goes McKinney North. Herbal moves Barrett. And now Herbal wants to throw, looking across the middle, and it is caught. What a catch across the middle by Blake Mooney. Goes up for it and is hammered as he makes the catch, but he holds on inside Frisco territory now to the 48-yard line, and that'll bring up third down and 2.
Well, with that pass, Herbal's now at 100 yards passing. He's on pace to have a much better half than he did before. Again, a play-action pass. Mooney running a seam down the hash mark, the near side hash mark, and he caught a high pass that was thrown pretty hard. Great catch.
Third down and 2. Herbal is going to pitch the option, and it's fumbled. And Frisco has it at the 44-yard line. It's recovered by Shelby Pryor, and it was just a bad pitch that went off Chase Barrett's numbers.
Well, if it hits your numbers, you need to hang on to it.
That's true. It hit his numbers, and Barrett just couldn't hold on to it.
Well, that's the 4th turnover by this McKinney North offense, and this is not something we say very often. And that's what's so frustrating. They start to get momentum going and then just do something. I really think the weather's playing a factor. I think the cold is playing a lot more havoc on that offense than we'd like to think.
Ball at the 44-yard line inside McKinney North territory. Frisco hands off. Funderburg, 45-40. And down right there, 5-yard gain, 4-yard gain for Funderburg on first down. Will bring up second down and 6. 1:40 on the third quarter clock.
Monty, you can tell Funderburg's starting to get out of his comfort zone because this is a guy, we didn't see him do this at all against McKinney, but when he starts to hit the pile, he jumps to get that extra yardage. And sooner or later, something bad's going to happen because when you leave your feet, you lose all control.
Double tight set for Frisco, actually just strong side to the right side. 4 guys over there. They're going to hand off Funderburg that side. And he's going to gain a couple to the 38-yard line. That's still a couple of yards short of the first down.
Well, now it's up to your defense. They're going to officially give him 3, so it's 3rd and 3. And you've got a guy who can get 3, and odds are they're not going to pass on this play, which makes that an attractive choice because the defense probably not going to be looking for that, but you think their bread and butter's Funderburg.
Under a minute now in the third quarter. Funderburg in the backfield, a lone setback. Colin Graney is going to run the bootleg and throw it, and he's down the field and wide open is Shelby Pryor, and he's down inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. My goodness, he was wide open.
Just like I said, they did a play-action pass to Funderburg. It played right into their hands. Pryor, he was able to get free. Not a guy you expect to even complete a pass, so that was a very good play. Gains 30 yards.
Kenny McGowan makes the stop. But, wow, he was wide open. Double tight set now for Frisco inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal, handoff Funderburg, barreling his way down to the 5-yard line. It'll be second down and goal from the 5. Just outside the 5 is where the line judge is going to mark it. This will be the 5th play of the drive.
Now at this point, it's going to be the end of the half, but your defense has to make a stand here to keep it close.
Well, it'll be the end of the third quarter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And Frisco leads 7-6. Still, McKinney North has not scored since their first possession. They have fumbled the ball numerous times. 2 fumbled twice and 2 interceptions. So, with that, we'll come back with the fourth quarter on 97.5 KLAK. This is big, folks. 7-6 Frisco in the lead here. It's fourth quarter time in Texas. And they look like they're about to score. Double tight set. Graney wants to throw. Wide open over there is the receiver, and it's caught, but a great play by Kenny McGowan. Actually, it was just a kind of a bad pass by Graney.
No, it was actually a perfect pass because coming in on the play was Denzel Brown. He made a quick fake. Gowan bid on it, and then Denzel Brown go outside. That's exactly what they wanted to do.
If Denzel Brown would have got the ball where he wanted the ball, it would have been a touchdown. However, the ball floated out a little bit towards the near side. Brown had to go out and get it. That allowed Kenny McGowan time to get to Brown.
I think you need to give a little bit more credit there to Kenny. I think he made that play. I think that's exactly what they wanted. He just recovered quickly than the average defender would have.
Ball is at the 2-yard line. Throwing the fade route, picking on Kenny McGowan.
Push off, nothing.
It's a touchdown for Frisco on the fade route.
Nothing. Denzel Brown pushed off, nothing.
Denzel Brown catches the touchdown from Colin Graney, and now it's 13-6. And you would think they'd line up and go for, well, maybe not. No, they wouldn't. Why would they do that?
Yeah, it would be not smart. Well, it'd make it a 2-score game, so.
And now it looks like McKinney North may have jumped off. Rashad Robinson draws a flag.
I think we've got illegal motion.
And they missed the extra point, but they're going to get another crack at it, I believe.
Well,
they missed start against Frisco, so that one will be, well, they say false start against Frisco.
Yeah, they're moving it back. That's why there was no kick, because it was a dead ball.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. So that's why it was missed, because there wasn't a real play. He was just going through the motions, essentially. Here we go, Monty.
Well, the extra point by Naughton will now be essentially a 25-yard field goal. The kick is up. It's very high, and it is good. 14-6. Frisco in the lead. You might want to strap them on tight. I feel like this fourth quarter is going to be one of those that you'll remember for a long time. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Frisco in the lead, 14-6. We're in the fourth quarter with 11:14 to go in this game. It was a 6-play, 56-yard drive by Frisco, a 2-yard touchdown, picking on Kenny McGowan over there. Colin Graney to Denzel Brown. And the extra point brings our new score 14-6. Wow. Anthony Naughton's kick is going to be taken by Kenny McGowan right a yard deep in the end zone. He's going to bring it out, 5, up to the 10, and he's going to be tackled at the 13-yard line. Alphonse Coleman will make the stop, and McKinney North will take over at their own 13.
You know, I want to take you back a few quarters. How often have you heard the cliche after a missed extra point that, man, that could come back to hurt? We didn't even say that at all. I don't think you or I thought we'd be in this position starting the fourth quarter. Yet how big is that missed extra point now?
Yeah.
Well, now it's time for the Bulldog offense to buckle down. They've got 87 yards to go to get a chance to tie it. And knowing Coach Pratt's record, they'll probably go for 2 if they can, if they do get a touchdown. But right now, they need to stop turning it over.
Here's McKinney North, and they're going to toss it out to Barrett, who's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. And not much after that to the 13-yard line. I'm shell-shocked at what's going on here. This is not the McKinney North team that I have seen for the past 2 years.
Oh, no. On offense, at least. On defense, giving up 14 points is not bad.
That's not bad. It's not bad.
Especially when you consider how they've gotten those 14 points.
And especially when you look at Brogan Funderburg's stats.
Right.
Ball at the 13-yard line, or 14 rather. This is going to be a handoff to Barrett, running right tackle, and he's not going to go very far to the 14-yard line, or actually he'll cross to the 16. And that sets up a third and fairly long.
Well, you notice Fruit Cole hasn't been playing at all in the second half. Right now, Chase Barrett got to carry the load, but he needs help from his line.
That fumble at the 7-yard line really hurt McKinney North tonight.
Well, there's a lot of things you could insert there.
Under 10 minutes left to go in the game. Herbal wants to pass on 3rd and 6. Looks down this field. Jeff Olson caught it. A nice catch to the 20, 25. First down to the 30-yard line. They'll actually mark him out at the 32. A great job by Jeff Olson, who was wide open coming across, and he's probably been the offensive star tonight so far.
Well, that's his 3rd catch, and it went for a first down. Goes from the 17 to the 32. You'll take a nice gain of 15. That puts him at 40 yards receiving. Plus, you just got to be scared as a defender when you see Jeff Olson rumbling at you. He's bigger than anybody on the field.
Herbal wants to throw near side. Has Douglas, and it's caught 45. Down to the 45 of the other side. Curtis Kazansky makes the stop, but Douglas has a nice gainer inside Frisco territory to the 43-yard line.
Monty, this is the offense we're more familiar with. Back-to-back passing first downs. They've crossed over midfield. They're starting to get it moving.
Who is this?
Yeah, where have they been? A nice gain of 20.
Mooney to the far side. Fuller in the slot. Olson, the tight end, will stand up kind of as an H-back. Douglas near side. Herbal, shotgun. First down and 10. 9:23 left to go. Trailing 14-6. Barrett moves over to the right side, and Herbal wants to run the option. He's going to keep it. He has a lot of green in front of him, and he picks up the first down at the 31-yard line.
Atta baby, Eric.
They're going to mark him at the 32, but they're going to go ahead and move the sticks for a moment. Yep, they're going to move them. First down. 11-yard gain for Eric Herbal. And we haven't talked to John Leidy in a while. We'll do that here in a moment.
Back-to-back first downs now. This is looking a little bit more familiar.
Herbal in the shotgun. Mooney near side. Fuller in the slot to the near side. Actually, that's Douglas near side, wide out. Mooney to the far right. This is going to be a handoff. Barrett, left guard. And he's got some room up to the 21-yard line. Close to another first down. They're going to mark him right at the marker. And Josh Wakefield, the linebacker, makes the stop. John Leidy, this is the McKinney North team that we're familiar with, isn't it?
Yes, it has to be. This is the McKinney North team. I hope y'all can hear me over all this excitement, all this yelling going on down here. The heads are going back up. The momentum's going the right way. Go Bulldogs.
Well, they're only down 1 touchdown, so they realize the importance of this drive. With 8.5 minutes left, time's starting to run out. You need to capitalize here, and it's very good they're moving forward, but this is where they've turned the ball over a 3 times today.
First down and 10. Herbal wants to throw, throwing it down the field. Douglas caught it at the 5, turns around at the pylon, and he's out at the 1-yard line.
Man, I don't know if he's out at the 1-yard line or the 1 inch. He almost couldn't get any closer. Maybe they're going to give him the half-yard line. Nice play.
Wow. Wow. 20-yard catch from Herbal to Douglas, which we are used to. And that takes the ball down to the 1. First and goal from the 1. 8:14 left to go. Down 14-6. Herbal, shotgun, handoff. Barrett, bang, touchdown.
There we go.
14-12.
All right, here you go. 2-point conversion time. 8 minutes left. They've got a lot of momentum, though, but at the same time, you'd like to know, one way or another, you're going to need to score again if you go for the extra pointer, if you miss the 2-pointer. So you might as well go for it. Your defense has played very well, and that's exactly what Coach Pratt is doing.
Frisco subbing players in and out. They had players lined up, too many men on the field. They call a timeout. We'll take one, too. 14-12, back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
Here we go. We're good.
Here we go. 2-point conversion time for McKinney North. Herbal, shotgun formation. 3 receivers to the right side. We haven't seen this formation yet this year. Herbal rolls that way, looking right side, looking in the end zone. Still rolling, throws it across his body, and it's caught! It's caught! 2-point conversion for McKinney North. A great play. Coming up on the catch is Blake Mooney. We are tied. 14-14, back in a moment. Well, I hope you have them strapped on tight. We're tied. 14-14, an improbable 2-point conversion. Blake Mooney brings it in. Here's the kickoff by Stephen Meyer. Going to be taken by Michael Ray Mitchell, who lets it hop, rolls at the 6. He picks it up there, and he escapes one tackle. Martin Holmes brings him down at the 14-yard line. For McKinney North, it was an 8-play, 87-yard drive. Took 2 minutes, 57 seconds off the clock. A 1-yard touchdown by Chase Barrett and the 2-point conversion to tie it from Herbal to Blake Mooney. And what a play it was, Brandon.
So I get to talk about the most important part of the play of the game today. Well, what happened was Herbal was rushing out. He was out on that far side, and the Frisco Raccoons were in very good coverage until finally Mooney got a little bit of space. Herbal underthrew it, and then it looked like Frisco was going to have a chance to intercept it. And then out of nowhere, Mooney just lunges forward, basically stretches forward with his arm stretch, grabbed the ball, and was able to hold on to it as he hit the ground. He couldn't ask for a better catch.
Graney back to pass, pumps to the left side in trouble. Rashad Robinson has him in the backfield, back to the 2-yard line. A sack for McKinney North. Martin Holmes also there, and K.A. Wow. That's a big sack for McKinney North, and you can feel Big Mo on this side over here on McKinney North, as the Frisco Raccoon fans are sitting on their hands on the far side.
Well, Funderburg's ineffectiveness again. That's now his 6th rush. And he's lost 19 yards in field position on 3 sacks and a couple of bad rushes. Right now, this offensive and defensive line's got it going on.
2nd down and 19 for Frisco. Handoff Funderburg, left guard, meets a defender right at the line of scrimmage, and is going to be taken down by Rodney Nelson at the 11-yard line.
Questionable call in this situation. They were looking at a 2nd and 19, so they decided to run it. Even in a best-case scenario, you're looking at a shortage of 9 to go on 3rd down. As it is, they only got half of what would be a great gain. Now they're looking at 3rd and 14. You got to play smarter than that when McKinney has all the momentum.
Jeff Olson playing on defense in place of Ryan Selby-Carney, who is out with an injury, is waving to the crowd, trying to get him into the game. Colin Graney He's going to hand off. Funderburg let it net at the line of scrimmage at the 8-yard line. Brett Davis, the Badger, makes the stop, and Colin Graney and Frisco and Vance Gibson and Brogan Funderburg are going to have to punt.
Well, they lost yardage there. They lost 3 to be exact. What the heck's going on with that play calling? That's a give-up series of downs by Frisco.
Coachman punts it from his own end zone. There was pressure by McGowan, but he gets it away. A high punt. It's going to take a Frisco hop, a big hop, into North territory to the 42-yard line. They'll mark it, I guess, at the 41 officially. And North will take over there, needing a score with 6:06 left to go in this game.
Well, that's a 51-yard punt, so it takes a little bit of the air, just a little bit of the air out of the sails of the Bulldogs, because now instead of getting great field position, the ball bounced at about Frisco's 45 and went into McKinney North territory and down officially at the 42. That's the second punt of 50 yards for Coachman, which shows you just how important that bounce is. Remember, twice in the first half, his coverage team downed the ball as it was in the air, or at least before it even was able to take a bounce. I mean, that's 20 yards in field position almost just on the bounce alone on that punt.
1st and 10 for McKinney North. They have been tested tonight for the first time, but they have really done it to themselves. 4 turnovers. 6:06 left to go. 4th quarter. Herbal, handoff. Barrett, right side, up to the 45, dragging people to the 48-yard line. A nice 6-yard gain on first down, now under 6 minutes.
Well, with under 6 minutes, Monty, it should be a lot of Chase Barrett time. Let's run down that clock, because in worst-case scenario, if you run it down and you don't score, you go to overtime. In best-case scenario, you run it down and you get a score.
The people who are in charge of picking games said that McKinney North should win this game, had an 80% chance of winning. It's going to come down to a lot closer than that. Here's Barrett, running right tackle, and he's taken down in the backfield by Brock Chalker, another great football name. And that'll bring up 3rd down and short, right at the 50-yard line.
Well, only a gain of 1, but more importantly, in a second and short situation, it just keeps the clock running. You like your chances of getting a first down on 3rd and 2, but the more important thing is take time off that clock.
3rd down and short. Herbal, shotgun. Barrett right behind him. He's going to run the option. Herbal has the first down to the 45 and makes his way down to the 40-yard line. And Herbal, I tell you what, he never gives up. He knows he's had a bad night, but he's going to make up for it by running it.
Well, and the thing is, he's actually had a very good second half, and it's made his numbers look a lot better. But if you look at it, Denzel Brown was trying to strip the ball, Monty. But because he was trying to strip it, Eric Herbal just fell forward for a lot more yards than he should have.
1st down and 10 for McKinney North. 4:47 on the clock. All tied up, 14-14. At the Frisco 40, Herbal wants to pass, drops back 3 steps, throwing it down the field. Has Douglas and is caught at the 2-yard. No, they're going to say it's incomplete.
It hit the ground.
It was in double coverage. Evan Coachman was in coverage along with A.J. Hendricks, the linebacker, or is that Coleman? I believe that is Coleman. It is Coleman. Double coverage was David Douglas, but Herbal put the ball right there.
Well, it's about to expand on my point a little bit. He's played a lot better here in the second half. In the second half, rather the first half, he was 6 of 15. Here in this half, he's been 6 of 8 with that incompletion.
2nd down and 10, 4:33 from the Frisco 40. Option play. Herbal keeps it again. Big hole up the middle. He's got the 30 and down inside to the 26-yard line. And Eric Herbal, as he approaches going down, as he's falling down, Eric Herbal has this knack of stretching out and getting that last yard. And he does that almost every time. He gets every inch that he can. And they're going to mark it at the 27-yard line.
Well, right now this offense is starting to move forward, clicking it. This is a lot more. This 4th quarter has been a lot better than the previous 3.
They have awoken here. 1st and 10. Herbal throwing the swing pass out to Fuller. He's got the 25. He's got the 20 dragged down from behind at the 18-yard line. And it's going to be Evan Coachman making the stop. But that's going to be close to another first down. They may even move the sticks.
Well, no, just a gain of 9. Very close. which I think is a good thing ultimately because it doesn't stop the clock for the first down. I'd love for first down to get 9 yards because then if you just get 1 more yard like you would have if you gotten 10 on the first one, you've taken a lot more time off the clock, if that makes sense.
2nd down and 1. Running the option. Herbal keeps it inside. First down to the 12-yard line. 3:27 on the clock.
Monty, they're starting to find something with this option play that we didn't see it at all in the first half. But here in the second, they've run it about once every 3 plays, and just about all of them have been a success, and all of them have been positive yards.
8th play of the drive. It started from the 42, their own 42. And McKinney North has taken it now to the 12-yard line.
And you listen to this crowd. This is the best crowd we've heard all year.
Herbal, shotgun. Olsen goes in motion from left to right. Handoff Barrett. He had a hole for a moment, but he's thrown down hard on the turf by Daniel Hale. And that's probably the hardest Chase Barrett has been hit all year. And that'll be a no-gain. It'll actually be, well, the ball's at the 13, so I don't know if that was a loss or the initial line of scrimmage was at 13.
It was initial because now it's 2nd and 10.
So 2nd down and 10 here, 2:38 on the clock. They're in field goal range for Stephen Meyer, obviously, who missed a 41-yarder, but he missed it because of accuracy and not length. Herbal on the option. Keeps it. He's got the 10. He's got the 5. He's inside the 5 to the 4-yard line.
Well, 1 yard short of a first down. We're looking at 3rd and 1, but more importantly, because they did not get the first down, the clock continues to run. We're going to get under 2 minutes. And now you have to like your chances here because Frisco doesn't have a lot of big playability. I know they've done it before. Don't look at me that way.
They've done it tonight twice.
Right. And that's not something they can do 3 times, 4 times, 5 times.
Ask McKinney Lions about that big play last year.
Well, last year, this is not the same Frisco team. They're grounded out, which is why they're in this game, is because their defense has done exactly that. They've grounded out and just run the clock down, and they've been able to keep it low scoring. If they keep it low scoring, they're in good shape against a team like this, and that's exactly what their defense has been able to do. Now, that forces Frisco to take a timeout like they just did to try to get their offense more time, but the more timeouts they take now, the less timeouts they have later, which still works in McKinney North's favor.
2:08 left to go in this game.
Woo, what a one. This is one of the best one of the year, Monty, no doubt about it. And it's appropriate because it's the game that decides district.
I have never, in 13 years, broadcasted an overtime game.
And you haven't?
I never have.
I don't think I have either now that you mention it.
I never have. I've
played in one.
I've missed them somehow in 13 years. But it's 14-14 tied here. However, North is knocking on the door. 3rd down and 1. They can get a first down. The ball's at the 4. Herbal, shotgun. Fuller in the slot. He runs under center. Herbal trying to draw him off sides, and I think he did.
They touched him. The lineman touched the center.
Jeff Olsen pointing at Frisco.
David Cook, the nose tackle, jumped when he saw Eric Herbal rushing up. And the question is, did someone move? And right now that's what the referees are going to indicate in the legal procedure on the Bulldogs.
Oh, Eric Herbal is really upset as they call this one against the McKinney North Bulldogs. They say North jumped off sides.
Hey, John,
Sean Pratt is extremely upset.
John, see if you can hear the official explanation. Did you hear it? No?
Okay. Right now.
Well, they were talking with it, and Coach Pratt visibly disagreed with it. I wish we could have heard what they called as to why it was a penalty on North.
3rd down and 5 now.
Oh, here we go.
Douglas to the near side. Mooney, far right. Barrett stands behind Herbal a little bit to the left. Olsen, the tight end. Herbal wants to throw in the end zone. The fade route for Mooney, and it is overthrown and out of bounds on that far right corner. It was just overthrown. It's 4th down and 5. Do you go for the win with Meyer here?
Yeah.
And they do.
Oh, there's no question about it. With 4th and 5 at the 8, there's no reason to go for the touchdown.
Well,
because you like Meyer, he's a good kicker. He just, again, he hit the upright at 41 yards on the other hash mark.
Remember, we have a new snapper tonight. Houston Beasley replacing Ryan Selby Carney. It'll be a 25-yard field goal for Stephen Meyer. It is high. It is high. I don't know if it's long enough.
It's long enough.
It's good! It's good! It had to be good by a yard.
That's the ugliest kick that Meyer has had probably his whole career, and it's likely a game winner. It for sure puts him ahead. Woohoo!
I have never seen. It's like a pooch kick. Yeah. It was like a pooch kick.
Well, I thought it was going to go wide.
I didn't think it was going to make it.
I knew it had enough distance.
How? It made it by a yard, maybe.
Right, but it was high enough. You can gauge the arc. I thought it was wide. And did you notice Kenny McGowan, because it was so high, he runs under the goalpost, and he's able to look up to see. That's great. Oh, I can't wait to see this one on True Image. That was a field goal if I've ever seen a field goal. Woohoo!
17-14, McKinney North in the lead. $1:57 left to go.
Put that in your hats, Frisco. Let's see what your offense has here.
Whew. Oh, my.
All right, defense time here. No question about it. You got to like what your defense can do.
10 play, 34-yard drive. And it took 4 minutes off the clock.
Whatever you do not let anyone get behind you. You can give up a play because worst case scenario, they get a field goal, but you can't give up the touchdown. Not at this time.
They started the drive with 6:06. They leave $1:57, and they leave Frisco trailing 17-14.
This game's not over, and I feel physically drained.
Meyer's kick is going to be a lot better than his field goal. It's a high kick going to be taken at the 12-yard line by Michael Ray Mitchell. He heads up the far seam. And he is going to break away from one tackler. Oh, look out, 40. And out of bounds at the 42-yard line. That's the break they needed. They needed a big return, and they got it from Michael Ray Mitchell. 1 minute, 48 seconds left on the clock. The ball's going to be spotted at the 42-yard line in Frisco territory.
Well, of all the time for your coverage team to give up their worst return, the ball's placed at the 42, so that puts Frisco 58 yards away from the end zone. And we don't know how their kicker is. We know how Coachman is from what we saw last year against McKinney. But realistically, they probably need about 40 yards to feel safe with the tying field goal, and they got a 148 to do it.
Moving left to right. A receiver on either side for Frisco. Graney goes under center. Funderburg in the backfield. And they're going to throw. Graney throws it down the field. And the only man anywhere around was Kenny McGowan, and he almost had an interception, but it was a little bit too far.
Well, you talk about for the McKinney Bulldogs, how the quarterback and receivers weren't on the same page. That's a clear cut there. It looked like the quarterback, Graney, was expecting a post, and Denzel Brown ran a streak down the sideline. A 2nd and 10.
A minute 42 for the district championship. Funderburg, the lone back. Graney wants to throw. Drops back, left-handed quarterback, throws first down. Denzel Brown out of bounds, but a flag down at the 48.
Well, there's going to be a defensive holding away from the ball, likely to be declined.
Inside McKinney North territory to the 48-yard line. Denzel Brown's had a pretty good game catching the ball tonight for Frisco.
That's his 4th reception for 61 yards.
Well,
Denzel Brown.
The officials are discussing it. John Lighty talked to us down there. What's the mood now?
This is the highest excitement's been all game long. This is the time where the defense makes their money right here, stopping Frisco Raccoons.
It's also time for the defensive leaders, Floyd, and at the same time, guys like Kenny McGowan, Jeff Olson, those guys need to make a play. Brandon Dunn.
Am I wrong about this, or did they just get 3 more yards because nobody was spotting where the ball was?
Well, it was from where the 5-yard penalty was from the hold, the spot foul.
Graney throws it. First down again. Denzel Brown makes the catch. Same play to the 32-yard line. Uh-oh.
Well, that's another gain of 13.
$1:30 on the clock. Frisco getting up on the line in a hurry. 1:30 on the clock. Chains are moving. And the clock is now rolling. 1:28. Graney throws the same way. Denzel Brown caught. 29. Picking on Kenny McGowan. And he knocks him out of bounds shy of the first down. That stops the clock with 1:22. McKinney North leading 17-14. Frisco trying to make a last push with 1:22 left to go.
Question, Monty, how much do you trust Kenny McGowan to play up tight? Because right now what they're doing, they're running simple passes off the line of scrimmage, quick 1 to 3 step drops, and they're throwing the ball because Kenny McGowan's playing a little soft. Now he's up tight. I like the call.
McGowan comes up, 11 on 11. Here comes the Graney. He wants to throw, looking same side. On a fade route, Brandon Dunn read it, but he couldn't get there in time. Kenny McGowan also read it. It falls incomplete. McGowan almost made another pick.
Well, you notice what they did there. It's like they're reading wherever McGowan goes. If he plays soft, they run a quick out, and if he plays tight, they run the fade. That's what they did there, but Kenny McGowan not biting on anything on that play. So now it brings up a 3rd and 1. Question, do you run Funderburg here to make sure you get the first down?
I think you have to. They have a timeout left. I think you have to run Funderburg.
Well, it's their only timeout. Keep that in mind. The clock will stop via the first down, though.
Quarterback sneak. Graney's going to get it to the 22. He's free! He's somehow free! It's a touchdown for Frisco. He broke away. What happened? There's 1:10 on the clock. Graney on a quarterback sneak somehow broke through, and Frisco scores.
Wow.
Officially a 24-yard touchdown on a quarterback sneak.
I mean, at what point as an official do you determine if the ball forward progress has been stopped?
Well, here's the extra point, the all-important extra point now. Naughton is going to tee it up. It's high, and it's true. Well, you need a touchdown now, McKinney North, 21-17. Frisco in the lead with $1:10 left to go. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Well, the scoring drive recap, 6 plays, 58 yards, took 38 seconds off the clock. A 24-yard quarterback sneak touchdown for Colin Graney for Frisco gives them the lead, 21-17. And there's only 1:10 to work with for McKinney North. A touchdown will win it.
Well, they need a touchdown, no doubt about it. You can't settle for anything else.
Naughton will kick this one away. It's a low line drive kick. Millard Sims takes it in midair at the 18, running right side to the 30. Going to be dragged down at the 34. Not bad starting position.
Not at all.
For McKinney North. They're going to start at their own 34-yard line.
Yeah, and there's something else key here, Monty. So with that field position by Sims, nice heads-up play there not to let that one bounce. I doubt they would have gotten up to 44. Puts them 66 yards away. Very, very doable. There's a 1:03 left, and on top of that, they have 3 timeouts. So they're in good shape. It's just a matter of which team they play like, the one that's been here in the 4th quarter or the one that's been here in the first half.
Here we go. 1:03 left. Can they do it? McKinney North moving right to left. Herbal, shotgun. Drops back 2 steps, looks right side Mooney, and it is caught at the first down. No, it's incomplete at the first down marker. 2nd down and 10. Denzel Brown on the coverage. 58 seconds.
Well, on that play, it looked like the Bulldog offense of the first half. Ball was low and away from Mooney, who tried to dive just to even touch it. Although, again, I've said it in games prior to this one, if you're going to make an incomplete pass, make it where your guys don't catch it, no one catches it.
2nd down and 10, 58 seconds left to go. McKinney North. Shotgun formation, down 21-17. Herbal back to pass, looking left side, fires it down for Douglas, who's alone, and now actually double coverage came in the process and knocked it away. Curtis Kazansky went up in the air and knocked it away. A great play by Frisco. It is now 3rd and 10 with 51 seconds.
Well, they're playing a zone, and David Douglas got into the seams, and Kazansky, the safety, was playing center field. Eric Erbel's not throwing him heavily. He's throwing him very lightly and in an arc, which allows guys like Kazansky to come up and make a play.
Erbel drops back, looking left side, fires it across the middle. David Douglas caught it at the 45, first down. McKinney North has all of their timeouts left. They'll move the sticks here. Clock stops momentarily. Ball's going to be at the 46-yard line.
And that's the thing. Get first downs, get the ball set because the clock stopped.
42 seconds, 41, 40. Herbal, want to run the option. He has Barrett, who stopped in the backfield. They're going to have to call a timeout there. They're going to lose 2 yards on the Barrett run. Back to the 44-yard line.
Unless we're looking at a goal-to-go situation, do not run the ball. It's too risky.
Timeout has been called by McKinney North. They have 2 left. Frisco has that 1 left, and they have the lead, 21-17. An unbelievable game plan by Frisco, apparently, has really shell-shocked McKinney North, and really, McKinney North has shell-shocked McKinney North.
Well, here's where we got to make sure that you just make plays. I mean, right now, I understand that you can make a play running the option, but right now you need just to pass because you're good at passing most times.
Well, if you ever needed a long pass to Blake Mooney, this is it.
Well, right now I think they just need a first down. On this play particularly, there's 34 seconds left, and you need to get some forward momentum. 2 timeouts.
2nd down and 12. Here we go. 34 seconds on the clock. 21-17. Frisco in the lead. The ball at the McKinney North 44-yard line. Moving right to left. Herbal, shotgun. Drops back 3 steps. Looks left side. Now looks right. Throws it down the middle. And right there is Blake Mooney goes up with it and can't come down with it because Curtis Kazansky has his hand in the way again. They have been blanketing these McKinney North receivers all night long. 27 seconds on the clock.
Well, Monty, it's going to come down to this play, but here's one thing I don't think any of us were expecting. This Frisco secondary's played very well.
Tremendous game by Curtis Kazansky.
Well, the corners have done well, too.
Michael Ray Mitchell and Denzel Brown. Douglas comes near side. Mooney to the right. Barrett along with Herbal in the backfield. Herbal gets it, drops back 3 steps, looks across the middle. It is caught by Jeff Olson. His legs are taken out from him by Denzel Brown. He is down. They'll call an injury timeout here. Olson took a big spill right at the midfield stripe, actually just shy of it at the 49. There's 19 seconds on the clock. It'll be 4th down and 7. Actually, about 4th down and 6, actually.
Well, and the bad news is an injury timeout. I don't know if it's the same at the high school level, but at the higher levels, if you get hurt during the last 2 minutes of a game,
Olson
you lose a timeout, and they did. They lost a timeout, Monty. They only got 1 left because of it.
Olson gets up, runs off the field, but they do lose a timeout.
Well, the important thing is they would have called a timeout anyway because he caught the ball in play and then the clock would have stepped running. So it's not like they lost a timeout. So either way, not a big deal.
So the ball is going to be at the 49-yard line. It all comes down to this. 19 seconds on the clock, and with the timeout, they'll discuss what they're going to do with this. They'll give them a little bit more time. John Leidy, you're down there. John, actually, we've got John tied up at the moment. 19 seconds, 21-17, Frisco in the lead. And can anyone have imagined that Frisco could walk away with this game with a win? Anybody other than the people over there from Frisco?
I don't even think some of the people in Frisco thought that if they were being objective. I mean, let's face it. This offense, partly credit to Frisco. I don't want to sound like that, but this offense hasn't played up to their potential. And you know what? Jared has said this a couple times. It may not be a bad thing. It may shock them awake headed into the playoffs.
4 turnovers for McKinney North, and it all comes down to this with 19 seconds down, 21-17. 4th down and 7. Herbal back to pass. Looks across the middle, throws, fires, caught. David Douglas down to the 35-yard line. They need a touchdown. They have one timeout left. There's 13 seconds on the clock. It stops momentarily until the chains can move. They're going to mark the ball at the 37.
Douglas is having himself a heck of a game.
First down and 10, 11 seconds to spike the ball. Herbal gets it and spikes it. That'll stop the clock with 10 seconds to go. Still, McKinney North and Frisco each have a timeout left, but with 10 seconds, you don't know how much time you'll have to even use them here. I think you've got to go for the end zone or a play similar to that right here on second down and 10. Only 10 seconds left to go. 21-17. Frisco in the lead. Herbal, shotgun from the Frisco 37. Herbal wants to throw it, fire it down the middle, and it's intercepted at the 15-yard line. That's going to be your ball game.
Why didn't he fall down?
It is intercepted.
I hope he fumbles.
By Frisco's Chris Warnick, and he takes it all the way to the 38-yard line. Chase Barrett tackles him, but that runs out the clock, and Frisco is going nuts. A flag will fly, but this game is over.
Yeah. Well, he ran enough that the clock ran out.
Frisco is absolutely going nuts on the far sideline. McKinney North is now 8-1. 21-17, your final here at Ron Poe Stadium. That ends a 14-game winning streak, a home winning streak for McKinney North, and it ends an 8-game overall winning streak for McKinney North. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll talk to John Leidy and fellas in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
Not very. I mean, they just put it in.
Yeah, a little blues here at Ron Poe Stadium. 21-17. Frisco wins tonight, and McKinney North is going to have to pick it up and come in next week firing against Little Elm, and I'm sure they will. McKinney North was their own worst enemy tonight. 4 turnovers. One of them, especially as they were about to punch it in, Fruit Cole lands it on the 7-yard line.
Well, an interception when they're about to punch it in.
3 interceptions
total
tonight for Eric Herbal.
5 turnovers.
That matches the rest of his season. He had 3 coming in tonight, and he has 3 tonight, which is unbelievable because Eric Herbal, we brag on that kid so much that, you think
he's human. That's basically all it is.
That's right. You think that he's unhuman because he does some unhuman things on the football field, but you know what? I'm sure Eric Herbal will tune it up again next week, and maybe he'll have the game of his life against Little Elm.
You know what? Let's let him have the game of his life
2 weeks
from now.
I'd love to see that. Highland Park.
You know what? And here, bottom line, like I said, this game ultimately means nothing. It's just a title because whether they win, whether they lost, they were still playing Highland Park 2 weeks from now.
Well, McKinney High has 19 district championships, and McKinney North still looking for theirs. They won't get it now. They are by-district championships, defending by-district champions at that. But their 8-game winning streak comes to an end. If you're wondering what the longest streak in school history is and MISD history is, and that's McKinney. They had a 13-game winning streak from September 9th, 66 to December of 66, and that coincidentally was the state championship team that went to the state championship and lost. John Leidy's down on the field. We'll try to connect with him, and here he is.
I'm down here with the head coach for the McKinney North Bulldogs, Sean Pratt. Coach, that's got to be a hard loss for the guys tonight.
Well, my hat's off to Frisco. They played a great game. They did a great job. Their defense gave us fits, did a lot of things tonight that we hadn't seen, and it took us a while to get it going. I think they were late in the second half. We kind of figured it out, but it was too late. And I thought our defense played great tonight, did a great job, kept us in the ball game, and we just got a little too late kind of going offensively. They played a great job. They did a great job. Their coaching staff does a great job. Their kids do a great job, and my hats are off to them. They played a great game.
Ask him about the turn.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck next week.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, John Leidy. He'll try to check down with Jeff Olson here in a minute. Maybe Maybe he'll try Jeff Olson, who had a big game. But I tell you what, overall, you're going to walk away from this game with an empty feeling, with a weird feeling in your gut, because it's obvious, it's so obvious to everyone here that McKinney North is the better football team. But, you know, there's an old friend of mine named Bob Sullins who told me one time something very true. 90% of the time in high school football, the better team wins. But you know what? That leaves 10%, and that 10% represents tonight. Because McKinney North is by far the superior football team, but 5 turnovers and you can't win. I don't care who you're playing. I don't care if McKinney North is lining up against the SNS Rams tonight. No offense, SNS. But if you turn the ball over 5 times, hey, you can't do it.
Well, and I mean, yeah, not to make it sound bad, but the scoreboard tells you who the better team is because Frisco beat them.
That's
plain
true.
and simple. Frisco beat them
tonight. Frisco wins 21-17, but if you line these teams up 10 times, McKinney North wins 9 of them. Here's John Leidy with Jeff Olson.
Down here with the tight end for the McKinney North Bulldogs, Jeff Olson. That's got to be a hard loss for you, but you did have a career night with about 4 catches there. How did that feel?
Well, I think I did all right, but it's really a credit to the offensive line. They're digging in the trenches the entire game, and really Eric, he does his thing night in and night out. But it's not focused on me; it's the team.
Okay,
ask him what he thinks.
You mentioned talking about next week. We can finish the season off. We got to do that, right?
Yes, sir. Granted, we wanted to be 10-1, but or 10-0, but Frisco came out and they were a great team. Next week we're coming out with the focus that we know what it's like to lose, so we're not going to let that happen again.
Well, good luck next week and good luck in the playoffs.
All right, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, John Leidy. And this team's not going to go undefeated. And not too many teams in McKinney ISD history have.
It's not easy.
1966 and 1986. And you can put an asterisk by 86 because they did lose one game, but they were reportedly given credit because of some ineligible players against Paris. But one time in this city's history, going back to 1920, has a team gone undefeated, and that was 1966. It looked like McKinney North might be the second, but not tonight. 21-17, Frisco wins. We'll be back with stats and highlights coming up next on 97.5 KLAK.